Tasmania, get ready. A-League action is coming your way.
A-League's fiercest rivalry is hitting Hobart in a huge doubleheader.
Tasmania, best is coming for you.
Bessard Barisha and the All-Stars are bringing a feast of football that'll get your heart pumping. 12:15 p.m, see the stars of Tasmanian football unite to take on Melbourne Victory. Then at 3 p.m, see total A-League action live as Melbourne Victory clash with rivals Sydney FC.
See you on September 28th.
Get your tickets now.
This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are. For everyone who has triumphs, tips and tricks to share.
And for those who love to play with complete freedom, this is for the game changers, the innovators. This is for the players. This is PS4.
Welcome to Darcy Street, ladies and gentlemen, for this massive PS4 National Premier League's Elimination Final between South Hobart and South Melbourne, the Tasmanian champions of the Victory League versus the best of the Victorian NPL in South Melbourne, set for a mammoth clash here in the heart of Hobart on what is a cracking day. I'm joined on the commentary team by Callan Paske. I myself are Damien Gill from FFT. Paske, how are you on this lovely day?
Yeah, fantastic, Gilly. What a picture-perfect day here at Darcy Street. The ground looks amazing. It's an absolute carpet out there, and it's a phenomenal day for football. It's an oft-used cliche, Gilly, but where would you rather be in Tasmania today than here at Darcy Street watching what is set to be a mouth-watering clash?
It is sure to be a ripper. We might go through the lineups first of all, get everyone up to speed. We'll start with the home side, South Hobart. They won everything that was on offer in Tasmania this year. Callan, take us through their team.
So we start in goals with Kane Pearce, an absolute stalwart for them in goals this year. He's had a little bit of an issue with discipline problems, a couple of red cards throughout the season, but he'll be really important for them. South Melbourne, a really physical team. I expect they'll be good in the air. South Hobart are going to need to see that box commanded well, and Pearce will be integral to that. Late change at right back, Gilly, as we understand it. Jaden Hay failing the fitness test earlier today. Connor Cass will step in there at right back. Been really impressed with Connor Cass in the last half of this year. I thought he's been one of South Hobart's best, and that's not an easy feat. So Connor Cass will step up, and I'm sure he'll do the job. In the middle, we'll have Captain Fantastic Hugh Ludford. He's been a constant for them probably throughout the last 5 or 6 years of their championship tenure in Tasmania, and he'll be an important focal point for them in terms of leadership and defensively today. We've got Matthew Lewis, who is, I guess, Hugh Ludford Mark II. Similar builds. Perhaps the only issue in the middle of the park there is height. but that's why Pearce will be so important at those set pieces. He'll batten down the middle of the defence with Ludford. Out on the left, we'll see Liam Scott. Liam Scott, of course, named earlier in the week as the vice-captain of the Tasmanian side to face Melbourne Victory next Sunday. That's assuming that South Hobart don't win this game. And he's an important, really important player for them, Gilly. In the middle of the park, there's no one bigger for South than Caleb Ludlow. Massive game for him today. He makes them tick, and he'll be important in the middle of the park. Nicholas Morton will also line up in the middle of the park. He'll look to buzz about and get forward. They'll need his penetration today, and as a youngster in this on this stage, a great opportunity for him to stamp his authority. We'll also see Hugh Undy in the middle of the park, Gilly.
Out on the left, I'm hearing early days. I think he might even play out in the left wing. So interesting. We saw him a bit there last year. Haven't seen him too much there this year. A bit of a change on the big stage. It'll be interesting to see how the young kid goes.
Another really, really big test for their young centre. Ludlow, Morton, Undy. Really, really important that they stand up today because they're going to be against some big bodies in the middle. And then we go up top and to some of our favourites, Gilly. The likes of Andy Brennan, who is an absolute legend of the game down here for South Hobart, one of the crowd favourites. He's got pace to burn, and he'll be vital in getting behind South Melbourne's defence today. Alongside him, Braden, selfie man. He won the Golden Boot down here. He was recently named Victory League Best and Fairest, Mitsubishi Best and Fairest, Gilly, and he'll need to be on song today. He's the one that they look to get on to the end of those tap-ins. They look to get him into the box. He's got that eye for goal, and they'll need that today because you would think that the chances will be scarce, and they'll need to take them.
Onto the bench, I guess, Paske. In reserve for South Hobart, we have Mark Moncur. Of course, Monkey was a bit of a favourite with social media after the FFA Cup. The reserve goalkeeper for South Hobart had a decent night that night. The penalties probably weren't his best effort, but did well. Also in reserve, we have the three H's, Hamlet, Hunt and Hall. All very, very dangerous players. And it's a luxury that South Hobart have them off the bench, especially Hamlet. When hammer time comes, you usually see one or two goals, so South Melbourne will be hoping that comes late on in the piece. Also, they have Chris Downs on the bench, a youngster making his way through. A really bright player for them, someone we might see put into midfield if things aren't going the way of South Hobart. No better time than now to introduce the crowd favourite, Corn Dog Trent Cornish, to talk us through South Melbourne's lineup.
Excited to be here, Paske and Damo. We've got obviously some new faces to call today, so bear with us if we struggle to maintain at the start. But at the back, starting in goal for South Melbourne, we'll have Maynard, Christopher Maynard, number 21. Then across the back four, we'll have a right back Marla. In the centre, the Kiwi pairing, the captain Eager, Musa and Norton at left back. On the wings, attacking midfielders, we have Theodore and Epifano. In the middle, doing the hard work, we've got Iki and Hatzikostas. And up front, the leading scorer this year, Lucic and Reid. On the bench for South Melbourne today, the backup keeper is Saudararis, Andrew Mullet, Timmy Cesaris, Tyson Holmes, Sean Timmins, and Lee Minneapolis. So, yeah, we'll see how we go with the numbers today, but you've got to bear with us. I'm excited to be here as well, boys. It absolutely looks a picture. You could take a little snap here, send it on a postcard, and everyone would be pretty happy with that, I reckon.
I must admit, Corn Dog, I stitched you up. I introduced you and threw you straight to South Melbourne because there's a couple of names there that are going to cause me all sorts of trouble. But do bear with us out there. We'll try and do our best. Try and do even better than we did on FFA Cup night. Because I realised the other night when listening to the Fox Sports broadcast, Paske, that we're calling him Shepherd the whole night. He was called Forbes Shepherd on the broadcast for Fox. Not our best, but we'll endeavour to do better this time around as the teams come out onto the side of the pitch, almost looking to make the walk out. It's getting very, very close to the start of things here, Paske. Phenomenal atmosphere here today. A lot of travelling South Melbourne fans. You might be able to hear them in the background. A big crowd in here at Darcy Street, Gilly, to watch as the players make their way out onto the pitch. Can you tell me, what do you think this game's going to hold, Gilly? Yeah, it's a funny one. Of course, there's a temptation to be biased here, but I think South Melbourne might be a bit too strong for our South Hobart boys today. I hope to see a goal from South Hobart, I really do. And I'm looking for the sort of performance that they put up against Sydney United last year. It was a very gallant game. They were beaten, they were well beaten, but they showed signs and had bright patches, and that's what I'm looking for at South Hobart. I just want them to be competitive, and there'll be a fire in the belly to atone for what was a slip-up on FFA Cup.
Yeah, suggestion, Gilly, perhaps that the weakness for South Melbourne is that they're perhaps a little bit slow at the back. You'd think it's going to be important for Mann and Brennan to try to exploit that and for them to get numbers forward when they can into the box. First 10-15 minutes crucial. Corn Dog, your thoughts?
I expect to see Scotty Lamont playing a very deep role in the midfield for South Hobart today, almost turning him a third centre-back at times. I think they're going to be really compact, and especially at the start, Ken Morton will send him out there with that direction. Obviously, they've got enough in the midfield to sort of keep it tight. I don't think we'll see Hugh Undy very wide. I think that midfield will be very compact. And yeah, I think if they're going to have to win, they're going to have to take a very early chance, South Hobart. South Melbourne obviously got a lot of pedigree, but it'll be a big test both ways.
Your tip, Corn Dog?
I have to go for South Melbourne, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I'd say 3-1 South Melbourne. I really think South Hobart, they've got the firepower to get a goal today as the teams make their way out onto the hallowed turf of Darcy Street. It's looking a picture. Spinner, the local groundskeeper's done his best work on here, Paske.
Yeah, Spin's got it up a treat, hasn't he, Gilly? Good to see a local referee being used. The officials today, all four officials today are Tasmanian born and bred. Can you talk us through those, Gilly?
Yeah, so in the middle today will be Brenton Copra. Assisting him will be Simon Natoli and Jimmy Hordle, with Kim Barker as the fourth official. Brenton Copra and Jimmy Hordle both on the national talent pool of referees, so young up-and-comers in the referee game. So good to see Brenton Copra awarded with the middle for today's game. He's really had a good season in the Victory League, I got to say. So he'd be hoping for a good game himself. It's not only a time to shine for the players who are on show to the nation, but also the referees. If it is a good game out there today, you never know where it might go for him. Interesting to see the very loud balls that are on show today, Paske.
Yeah, I think they're just a little bit concerned we might get some snow later, Gilly, and they might need some extra visibility.
They've gone for the sun-kissed numbers.
They're shocking, to be honest, but we will not miss them, that's for sure. They go well with the referee kit, actually.
As Eager and Ludford shake hands and come together in the middle for the toss.
Eager would be eager to go. I've got nothing for Ludford. Just doesn't work in a pun. You've let me down, Huey. But I tell you what, I've got shivers down my spine. I am amped for this one, Paske. The atmosphere in here is electric.
It's fantastic to see that South Melbourne vibe come to Tasmania, to see the travelling fans. They were over at the Cascade Hotel earlier in full voice. They bring a real atmosphere and a vibe to this game that Tasmanian football doesn't often see, Gilly, and that's what's so good about this National Premier League Final Series. It allows clubs to get onto the national stage. It brings massive clubs like South Melbourne to Tasmania, and it just opens up the world game to the rest of the nation.
It's also great to see... excuse me. It's also great to see a lot of locals pack out to the ground. It's a really strong crowd here today. I don't care who they're cheering for. Of course, there's probably some Olympia players with the sister club relationship with South Melbourne to be out here to cheer for them. It's just great to see them pack out Darcy Street for what is a huge occasion. So South Hobart in the red and blue today, white and blue for South Melbourne. South Melbourne with a kick-off. They're shooting towards the house end, and down to the street, down to Darcy Street, goes South Hobart. And we have kick-off. It's South Melbourne who kicks off.
Gone long forward, should be Matt Lewis to clear, and he does. It's high up in the air. Andy Brennan should contest this one. It's won by South Melbourne, head on the far side. Scott Lamont picks it up. It's to Ludlow. Tries to play it back to Andy Brennan. It's a bit of a hot start here for the boys as Lucic, the leading scorer. Oh, he's had a good tackle, but down the left, we're away here. It's Epifano with the ball. Chance to get a cross in. Hugh Ludford can't get across, but it's good enough for Matt Lewis to get in and snuff out the pass. It goes forward. Andy Brennan flicks it on to his strike partner, Braden Mann, but he can't hold off. It's not a bad tackle there from South Hobart. It's gone back forward. Scott Lamont's clearance isn't good enough. Lucic wins the header and got it. Connor Cass tries to get the foot on it, but it's not quite enough to stop Epifano. Epifano holds up play. Chance to get a cross in. Does get a cross in now towards the front post, but it's cleared by South Hobart.
Already a few warning signs there. Luich is a really tall lad in the middle of the park, up top for South Melbourne. I'll tell you what, Lewis and Ludford are going to have their hands full there.
As they pump it along into the box, looking for Luich. It's cut off by Scott. Comes out wide now. Marla's on the ball. Scott to contend with. Puts it into the box, and it comes off a South Melbourne head and flies well wide out to the left. So Pearce will have a goal kick here. Interesting start. South Melbourne well on top thus far. As you said, Paske, a bit of height up top for South Melbourne. That will definitely worry Ken Morton and his men at the back.
Yeah, South Melbourne looking to line up, almost looks like a 4-2-3-1 type setup. Gilly, two holding midfielders and Luich up top with three supporting in behind him.
As Lamont looks to clear, high and wide, goes out looking for man. He bustles over one. It comes back. Is hoofed out wide. Morton might pick this one up in midfield. He's on it for a second. It's snatched off him. It's Hatzikotsis on the ball. Gets it into the centre to Theodore. He'll just slow things up and go back to his defence through Musa. Puts it out wide. And now they're with Epifano on the left, and he throws it down the left. They look to get inside through Norton, and it's cut off by Lewis and out for a corner.
Really solid start here from South Melbourne. They've got South Hobart under pressure already. Corner here, and we see our first opportunity for a set piece from South Melbourne. South Hobart will need to be aware here. Playing a zonal marking. Ball comes in the front. It's across the face. And out for another corner. Warning bells already for South Hobart as that one comes right across the face. No one can get on the end of it, though, and it dribbles out for another corner. Zonal marking for everyone here from South Hobart. Whole team back, Gilly. You'd think that they've worked on that during the week and they've gone, we need to just be tight and compact at set pieces. The offer comes for short, but no, they'll look to throw it in long. No, comes short now. Back out. Training ground piece, but Lewis there at the front to clear away, and Morton will come down the left. He's got pace to burn. Well tackled there by Norton, and it's out for a South Hobart throw, and South have got the opportunity to settle.
Yeah, certainly that first corner was very, wouldn't have been happier, I don't think. Kane Pearce yelling at his defenders. It just trickled straight through the middle of the goals. The 6-yard box, and no South Hobart player really wanted to get a name on it, so really needs to improve there. If you've got those big boys, Lucic and Reid certainly are towering over a couple of the South Hobart guys at the back, so needs to lift, and Ken Morton will be looking towards that as an area for the next 10 minutes to focus on. As Scott throws it to Morton, the toe back from Morton's not quite good enough, and Ludford gets in there, but Hatzikostas cuts it out. Luch is offering down the right, and it's through, but it's going to be offside. The assistant referees called that one as they broke there through Hatzikostas, and Lucic, you could tell straight away peeling off. Obviously, he's pretty used to scoring goals, getting it fed to him nicely, but his run was a little bit early there, and it's going to be a free kick to South Hobart.
It is indeed. Pearce in the lovely black kit. Look to pump it forward. Out to the left he goes, looking for Undy. He contests in the air with Marla. Comes over the top almost for man, but Maynard deals with this one comfortably. Out he goes to his defence to Mailer, and gets it down the right, and it's cut off by Scott now. A bit of physicality early. He shows a little bit to Scott. He has a bit of a chuckle. The water off the duck's back for Liam Scott with that big rig of his. Scott goes down looking for man. He's bustled over by Eager, the skipper, and it comes to South Melbourne in midfield. It's with Icky for a second. He has it snatched off him. We might see our first slice of cheese here with Callan Paske. And just a little
Surely not, a little
to.
bit early. Really, I think Braden Mann hard done by there. Looked like he got a shove in the back just at the top of the 18-yard box, and Brenton Copper waved it away. And South Melbourne maybe get away with one there.
So Eager goes across, and it's with Musa now. He drives it forward. And we're in midfield now through Norton. He pumps it, looking for Theodore. It comes off, and it's a good save from Kane Pearce. Nicely done from Pearce. Tips it wide.
Just managed to get a little bit of foot on that one as he just sprawled across. Not a bad hit from Lucic, certainly down the relative middle of the goals, but well done by Pearce to make a good save early and hopefully set his game off on the right trend. There's another corner here for South Melbourne. We'll see if they've got another little training ground routine. You think after the first corner they might just whip this one in a dangerous area and see which towering head can smack it home.
Yeah, Kane Pearce called into action for the first time. Corn Dog, and a really good save from him there. The ball comes in now from the corner. Far to the back. Oh, it's off the crossbar now. Headed by Captain Eager, and it's goal time now. Overheads. Goal, and we'll just need to work out who that was. Confusion reigned at the back for South Hobart there. The ball was headed forward and off the crossbar. And Reid is the scorer, an opportunistic one over their head. And South Melbourne go 1-0 up after just 7 minutes. South Hobart really struggling at set pieces there. Just unable to deal with the height. That zonal marking not quite working. South Melbourne able to get a free header, and the follow-up was great from Reid. Took his opportunity really well. And South Melbourne lead this NPL Final Series clash 1-0 against South Hobart away from home.
Yeah, the danger signs were there for South Hobart, just not dealing with it as they came out. And good finish, really. Creative finish in the end. And it's at the back now as South Melbourne look to get a second and really put their step on. It's taken over by Hugh Undy, though. And Braidman's going to run to it. Back to Hugh Undy. If he get on the end of it, he can. It's a tackle, but it's gone through to Maynard. As Musa was over in a good spot to get the last touch before Undy couldn't quite keep control of it. And Maynard would be very grateful that one came to him. It's just a little chip there. The drop kick, just very, very composed. The header's gone back towards Nick Morton, though, as Caleb Ludlow tried to find him again. It's turned over. It's with Marler at the back for South Melbourne, but a good tackle by Hugh Undy. Scott Lamont hands it out to Ludlow. Now back to Connor Cass to the right. He's under pressure from Epifano on the far side there. It's come back out now with Connor Cass again. He's got a bit of time on the right-hand side to really reassess his options. It goes forward. It's with Andy Brennan. He does well to play it back. It's now with Scott Lamont. He tries to play it forward. Braden Mann should run to it if he can keep it in. And unfortunately, it's sailed out to the right. It's going to be a throw into South Melbourne.
South Hobart just struggling to settle on the ball here, Corn Dog. They can't get a lot of it. Not able to string a lot of passes together. And currently, they look under the pump.
It's back forward now. It's going to be another throw to South Melbourne as they've progressed to the halfway line. They've got some... Tell you what, it's a nice little combination to have of Reid and Lucic as the big boys, and you've got Epifano and Theodore really nippy at the bottom of their feet. It's proving a very tough task for South Hobart so far, as Lucic managed to keep it in, but Cass is over to cover. It's with Matt Lewis now. Turns back towards his goalkeeper. Pearce is going to have to clear, and it's just shut out. It's going to be a goal kick in the end. I was blocked from view there, but danger averted. So he says the clearance has come out. Obviously, Reid's come across. Kane Pearce is a left footer, so it wasn't to his preferred side. I don't think he'd be too happy with Matt Lewis for giving that back to him there, I don't reckon, but can't share the danger like that.
Pearce will drive this one back into play. He goes out to the left, looking for Scott. It's one in the air well by Norton and out of play. Oh, no, back in, sorry. Ludford drives it forward, finds Brennan. He'll be the spark for South Hobart. Looks to get through the defence. He goes out wide to the right. Brennan on his own. He fires just wide of goal out to the left. He had Maynard beat, but just couldn't slip it into the bottom corner. Brilliant solo run there from Andy Brennan.
And that's that pace that can hurt them on the break there, Gilly. Turned, rolled off the shoulder, beat one, beat two, and then went beyond the defender. Brennan's going to hurt them if he gets the chance to run at them. A little bit slow at the back there, South Melbourne.
Yeah, beautiful bit of play there. He just held it up and then went bang with that explosive pace that we know. Just ran himself a bit wide in the end. He had to snap it across goals. As the goal kick comes out, and they can't quite keep it in on this close side. The goal scorer Reid as he tried another audacious flick. It wasn't quite enough to keep it in. This man does well to beat Eager, who fouls him in the process. And we may see a slice of cheese. I don't think so, as he held him back after he played the ball forward. But it's just going to be a free kick to South Hobart. There's some interesting tactics there from Musa at the back. I'm not sure if that's necessary, just kicking it away, but each to their own. Long way to go if he's time wasting from now, but good on him. Liam Scott's stolen about 5 yards, so we all win in the end. So free kick to South. A lot of tall timber in there, and the ball in it's not good enough from Liam Scott, unfortunately. It's just cut out by the first man. A bit of a pet hate of mine, Paske. I don't really like ones like that.
Yeah, got to beat the first defender there, Corn Dog. Can't afford to drop that one short. Especially, they're going to get rare opportunities and they need to take them.
The play's on. We're with Eager. He's driven forward by Marler. And now out for a corner. Throw-in. How am I going? Out for a throw-in. Liam Scott with this one. Heels it forward, looking for Ludlow. He's manhandled, comes into midfield with South Melbourne. As Hatzikotsis that has it for a moment and is brought down, so it'll be a free kick for South Melbourne.
How about a clearance on Reed's socks there? The gap between the boots and the shin pads is almost world record length, I reckon. Up near his knees. Horrendous as the ball goes forward from South Melbourne there, and well done by Cass to cut it out. It's fallen back to Icky at the top of the box, and he turns out to the left-hand side. Got a chance to play in his fullback Norton. He can't hit the pass though, and Andy Brennan tries to skip it past Icky, and the ball is deflected out for a throw-in to South Hobart. Connor Cass to take. Andy Brennan wanted it early, but he wasn't quite quick enough to get it up to him. He now goes forward to Andy Brennan. He's got Norton on his back. Both a clash of the feet there as Nick Morton ends up with the ball. He plays it forward. It's only to Eager, though, the captain for South Melbourne. It's out on the left-hand side with Norton, the left back. He plays it forward. Icky, good little touch inside. Got a chance to run to the defence here, and he does down the left-hand side. It's Epifano on the ball. A chance to get it across to the left. He cuts it back instead onto the right now. Gets it towards the middle. Couple of defenders couldn't get on it. It's Lucci's chance to turn and hits it over the bar. A massive chance there for South Melbourne. He had all the time in the world. He got a touch and still managed to turn around and face the goal. I don't know what was going on there.
Yes. South Melbourne are all over South Hobart at the moment. Braden Mann finding himself isolated up top, and they just can't seem to get any forward pressure. Lewich is so tall up top that he's really providing problems for Ludford and Lewis, and that speed from Epifano on the left is also causing them problems as Morton gathers the ball now in the middle of the park. He'll look to use it, brings it into the feet of Undy. Undy looks to play forward through the middle to Mann. Brennan there looks great sliding tackle from Eager as Brennan looked to chip Maynard, who is well off his line. And South Melbourne break out to the left now.
That was a voluntary falcon, I think, from Eager as the ball goes down the left. Lamont's over to cover, but he's done I don't know how much he knew of it, but he's copped it fair in the head there, the captain at the back. So good for his team as the throw goes forward. Way too much time here for South Melbourne, just a marauder forward. It's Theodore on the ball, and he gets it back from the 1-2, but it's Lewis who's managed to cover. Plays it forward to his teammate, Connor Cass, back inside Scott Lamont. Now Lewis will have to clear, and he does. It's sliced to the right, though, will be thrown to South Melbourne. It's panic when they get it in the front third. They're actually looking all right, South Hobart, but it's just the progress from the back to the front. It's just not happening for them.
Yeah, pleasing signs for Morton. I think he'll be encouraged by the fact that they're troubling them when they get into the final third. It's defence and midfield where they need to sort that out.
Marler puts him forward. Lamont cuts this one off to Ludlow, and then back to Lamont. They spread it out to the left. Liam Scott holds it up for a moment, looking for numbers to come to him. Puts it right into the bullseye, picks out Ludlow, and then to Lewis. He's a bit slow on that one, and South Melbourne have stolen. Epifano with the ball. He's brought down out on the left. It's with Lewich. What can he do? On the edge of the box. Tries to play it across. Nobody home but South Hobart, and it will be mopped up through Nick Morton. Puts it forward, looking for Brain Man. Rushed on it a little bit. Stolen by Eager. Looked like a handball, but plays it forward to Theodore. It goes out now to Icky. He plays it down the line, and it's with Big Reed. The big fella, what can he do? Tries a few little dance moves. Plays back to Icky. Icky makes contact. Goes to Marler. Marler across to Hatzikotsis, and then to Marler.
Good bit of refereeing there from Copper as Icky went down, trying to draw a bit of a foul. As the ball goes forward now, good tackle by Lewis. And Icky really just felt a little bit of contact and went down. And Copper was all over it, to be honest. Just saw it happening and said, no, thank you. So South Melbourne throwing on the left-hand side. It's come inside. Well controlled by Theodore. It's gone backwards now. It's with Musa at the back. He plays a long forward. Oh, geez, a bit of space on the left-hand side. It's Theodore who's got it. Connor Cass at his back. He turns him well. Does get it on the left foot now. He's got Lewich under the ball. He gets a little tap header on. It's Liam Scott who clears. Has to rush it away, but a bit of pace here for South Hobart. And they look to be on it as Eager has to clear with the head. It's going to be a restarted attack here for South Hobart. Braden Mann to take. And he now holds it down now because he's not usually the man you see taking the throw. Is Braden Mann. Not his real job. He's usually there to tap in from the 6-yard line.
Definitely not his job. He's the spearhead of the South Hobart attack and needs to be further up the pitch. As Liam Scott looks to bring it back into play. The South Hobart vice-captain finds Lamont in a lot of space. Doesn't make much of it, though. Goes back to Liam Scott. Has it now. Can he pick out a pass? Pumps it forward, looking out wide for Andy Brennan out on the right. He's with Norton. Brennan does well to wrestle the ball off him. Plays the ball into the box, looking for man. It's met with a head by Eager, goes straight forward. In midfield now they go, South Melbourne. It's with Icky, plays it forward, finds Luich. He feeds it back to Icky, and they're out on the left. This is some sharp interplay. And it's Epifano on the ball. He looks to try a few little dance moves to get by. Lamont does well to perfection. Out now to Reed. He has it stolen off him by Morton, and then to Ludlow. What can they do here, South Hobart? Played from Scott on the outside of his boot, ahead of man, but is well cut off by Eager, and back to Maynard, who pumps them forward. Over the head of Lewis, bouncing away from Cass. Can he track this one down? He's got Theodore for company. Theodore still keeping pressure on as Pearce looks to play it to his defender and housemate, Matt Lewis. Lewis plays it through to Lamont. A lot of space for him to operate in here, Lamont. Picks out a pass well. Finds Ludlow, the Victorian. Turns with it. Looks out to the left. Goes to Ludford, the skipper. Through to Undy. Undy holds it up on halfway. Back to Ludford. They're just trying to take their time with things here, South Hobart. In the end, Ludford pumps long. Probably not the best option on that occasion. Callan Paske as Eager clears with a head out of play.
Yeah, those long balls at height aren't going to do anything unless they're to Brennan. He looks to have the measure of the South Melbourne left back at the moment, and he's the brightest spark for South Hobart. They need to get him into the game some more. Currently, just not enough pressure in the centre of the park.
So it should be Marla to take the throw-in for South Melbourne here. Goes long. Not sure if he got all of that, and it's Nick Morton who wins the header. It should be another throw to South Melbourne. It is. Nick Morton being Luich in the air. It's not a bad effort, really. Should be Marla to take again. Right on halfway. Just a bit of a lull in the game here. That's a bit of a better hurl. Get out the vortex again. It's Liam Scott who clears well. Eager's underneath it. Should head it clear, and does. It's Nick Morton now. A bit of head volleyball as it goes back. Scott Lamont does well. Wins it off, and now it's taken to Ludlow. Reassesses options, back out to Liam Scott, his left back. Plays it forward now, Braveman, bit of space. Eager slipped over. Nick Morton tries to play it forward, but it's Eager who's just managed to get back on his feet, who wins the ball back. It's now with Norton on the left-hand side. Puts it forward, Luich does well, holds it up. Thought wanted a foul though, but it's gone back to South Hobart now. Matt Lewis all the way back out, Kane Pearce with the ball at his feet. Here's his fullback in Liam Scott. He's got Hugh Undy down the line. That option's closed forward now. It's going to have to be Kane Pearce who clears long. It's Andy Brenner who's no match for Eager in the air, but the header's not good enough, and it's with Braden Mann. Tries to get an early ball across. It's not really what you want either. And it's going to be sliced down the right-hand side, and should it roll out for a throw-in to South Melbourne.
Very slow out of the back at the moment. The long balls are coming up from Scott. Pearce has been forced to clear it long and strong. Can South Hobart, for the next 5 minutes, press high here, Gilly?
That's the challenge for Ken Morton's men. As it comes down the line, it's Epifano that heads it forward. It comes to Morton, a contested ball. It's almost stolen by Undy, but shark from Reed, and I'm not too sure what he was trying there, Callan Paske, but he's driven it forward with a vicious boot out to the far right, and it'll bounce out of play, this one. Oh, actually, it's bounced to Pearce. Sorry, my view was obstructed, and he holds it up. And he'll take his time on it. But South Hobart have looked all right when they're in the front third, but it's just a matter of, as Corn Dog said earlier, getting it out of that defence. South Melbourne piling on the pressure as the ball comes out to Andy. He's bustled over. Probably had a case to answer there, did Marla. Comes along to Scott, just approaching halfway. Spreads it, real switch up to Lewis. Into Lamont, who's had space all day but hasn't made them pay yet. Puts a nice ball out on the left. He might make him pay here. It comes to Scott. He looks to play it early. Ricochets back. This one's through to Mann. What can he do? Holds it up. Looks to turn with it. He's smothered by the South Melbourne defence, and they escape through Icky. Out to Lamont. What can he do this time? The ball doesn't pick out Undy. It's stolen by Marley. He looks to get running. Out to Reed they go. Bobbles off his boot and comes to Undy. Chips it along out in front of Morton. Straight to Norton. Norton into midfield. It's now Hasty-Cottis on the ball, and he goes out wide through Eager to Marla. Looks to pump it forward. It's trapped down with the chest of Scott. Ends up with Undy. Ludlow gets a desperate lunging boot on it. Out to Brennan. What can he do? The South Hobart number 10 looks to run through. Ricochets out off Eager to Morton, who switches up with a delightful ball, but unfortunately the linesman has his flag up for Hugh Undy.
Pet peeve there, and I see you shaking your head, Corn Dog, because Undy was looking right across the line there, and still found himself in an offside position. A good couple of minutes for South Hobart there, some better pressure, able to get on the ball a little bit more. Man's coming into the game, Undy's coming into the game, and that's what they need.
I think they'll rue that chance with Braden Mann, who's back to goal there. His option should have been to lay it off to someone else, I think. He just tried a couple of too many touches. Didn't work out in the end as the ball goes forward through Maynard. Clears it long and strong. There's going to be a couple of contested balls in the air. Luch wins the second one, and then his teammate Hatzikostas the third, and goes back to Cass. It's still in the air. Now we've got it on the ground finally. It's Epifano who treads on the ball. Not his best effort dribbling there. It's back with Icky. Always shown his tricky feet. And it's gone backwards now. Back with Epifano again. They're just slowing things down South Melbourne. Hatzikostas on the ball. Back out to the right. It's with the captain and Eager on the right-hand side. He's been pretty good so far, Eager. He's been busy in everything at the back. Certainly been tested the back four for South Melbourne, even though they haven't really had any real shooting chance other than Andy Brennan. South Hobart has actually pushed them and they've made the move.
I think Eagers look very comfortable with Braden Mann thus far as the ball bounces through. It's off the head of Luich. Comes to Theodore. He can't quite control it. Lamont should clear through Morton. Finds Morton. Loud set of wheels. Morton turns him inside out. Back to Ludlow. Then Morton chips ahead of his attackers, looking for Mann to run onto it, but Maynard will reach it first.
I pose a little question to you. Would they be better off with Lamont in centre of defence and either Lewis or Ludford maybe playing in front of that back four? I think they would. I think Lamont would provide a better aerial option against Luich, and at the moment he's really troubling them up top there.
Maybe. I guess then the question comes back to mobility, and you've still got to get around the park, and I guess that if you've got the one shooting the back four, they've got a lot of legwork to do. As the ball comes forward, it's with Epifano. I see what you're saying. It's just I don't really know the endurance levels of Ludford and Lewis for 90 minutes. You've got to expect them to play the whole game. Eager plays it forward now. It's with Luich. He turns it back inside. Can't get it back to Eager though. It's Braden Mann who blocks it with his chest and it's gone out for throwing, but good bit of defensive pressure. Not really sure what Marla's trying to play out here, just shoving players around. It's the second time he's done it. First on Liam Scott, no response. Braden Mann a little bit more feisty, so it's guaranteed to get something from him. Has gone forward. Callan Paske scampers across and now keeps it in. He'll take it back into his box and look to set things back up. South Hobart not really looking that keen to get the ball moving here as Braden Mann's too worried about having a chat to the fullback and the ball's not really going anywhere. They are 1-0 down. They need to get the foot on the ball up the other end of the park as Callan Paske clears it long. A good roost. But as I say, there's no one in the middle. It's just easy by Musa just to control, collect, and then send it forward. Luich in the air. Does well against Ludford. He's thrown his arm around, though, and Ludford will win a free kick. Caught one in the jaw, I think, there. Well done by Ludford to hold his ground. So free kick to South Hobart.
While the old Fox, Cam Morton, might have to have a little bit of a word with Braden Mann. He was too distracted by Marler at that point, as you correctly called Corn Dog, to get in a good position for his side, and the ball just fell on deaf ears. It was a shocker. So need to fix that one up. Pazicki looks to get South Melbourne forward. It's a nice ball through to Luich. He can't trap it. Good pressure coming from Ludford and then Lewis, and it's back out on the left. Put into the middle to Hatzikostas. He goes back to Musa. He's pressured off it by Morton. It comes along. Hatzikostas wrestles for possession with Undy. Does well, does Hatzikostas, surrounded by 3 South Hobart players, but they win out in the end. And Undy bolts out to the right side. Puts the ball into the box. Only Eager home, and he easily deals with this one. A frustrating bit of play there for South Hobart. They looked in as it comes back to the skipper. Eager spreads out to Marler.
Good transition play there from South, though. That's the opportunity where South Melbourne looked to break after South Hobart have come forward, and they were able to stop that coming through the middle there and bring it all the way back out to Marler. So good change in transition there from South Hobart.
So on the left-hand side with Norton, he flips it back inside with Icky. Icky and Hatzikostas doing a lot of dropping deep, getting their foot on the ball, trying to keep the ball moving for South Melbourne. It's with Eager now, gone through Maynard. He holds up plays, gives it to his centre-back pairing in Musa. Now he plays it forward. It's with Theodore, who plays it straight back to Musa. Now on the left-hand side, we're with Norton. Good pressure from South Hobart so far, not letting them out easy. It's Braden Mann up against Musa. Makes him go all the way back to Maynard now. He thinks he's going to have to clear long, and does. Down the right-hand side here. It should be Reid if he can get on the end of it before it goes out. And he can't quite. It's good pressure from South Hobart. Good shape. Didn't get drawn out of as the ball got moved laterally. They did well. It's back inside. Scott Lamont. The throws come from Scott. Well done, Liam Scott. Gives it back out. Scott Lamont. Good bit of play from South Hobart. Ludlow now plays it back into Hugh Lundy, but his ball's just a bit too short as the ball comes back. Hugh Lundy wanted a foul. It's Scott Lamont who clears as Reid. His touch is a bit too big. I'm not sure if there was something behind the play there. I certainly didn't see anything, but Hugh Lundy's not too pleased about it at all, Callan.
Hugh Undy's, pretty filthy with that one, but at the moment I'm a little bit concerned about Hugh Undy just in possession. He's just been a bit sloppy. He's getting the right area, he's getting a lot of the ball, but just missing those passes, something they'd want to fix up, as Marler will throw this one in for South Melbourne, who of course lead this match with a goal in the 6th minute through Reid. Long throw down the line, Lamont the only one under it. Comes back and it's comfortably cleared by the South Hobart skipper, Hugh Ludford.
Let's not pretend that Chris Taylor on the bench for South Melbourne will be happy with one goal here. South Hobart has shown that they can get forward and create opportunities, even though they may be rare. One won't be enough for South Melbourne, you'd think, today, Gilly?
Absolutely, as Musa spreads out to the left to Norton. He's got Brennan to contend with. Brennan does well, pressures him. But it comes to Epifano. He spreads it back out to Norton. Into the box they go to Theodore. He tries to cut back. It's cut off by Ludford. He's on the ball now. Pressured hard by Norton and then pumped forward to South Hobart. But yet again, this one's sliced out of play and doesn't pose great danger to South Melbourne on the counter.
Very different style of players. I'm not sure if that's the defence or how deep they're having to drop with South Hobart. It's just that when they come out of their defensive half, it's just all long. There's no real progress. When they do get it on the deck and they play it forward, that's when they look dangerous. As the ball goes forward, Matt Lewis does well to clear. As Ludlow, a bit of a manhandle there from Icky, but he's got away with it, and it's back inside with Andy Brennan now. He tries to go long. It's just straight up. As Brayman looks to contest with Musa. Does well to pressure him out of it, but a foul's been awarded against him there. I thought he had his eyes on the ball and did pretty well with the body, but it's a free kick to South Melbourne all the same. And it will be Musa to take. And that they will take their time as they have on all these sort of set pieces towards the back. And they go long now. It's up in the area of the tilt, and Lewich does well, but Scott Lamont, and once again, South Hobart's contesting it well against Lewich so far. He's been a hassle in the aerial contest, but hasn't really been dominant as Andy Brennan does well. Icky wants a foul, but South Hobart is away through Andy Brennan. He's on the wheels here. He's got Milo beaten. He's got to get a chance to get across on the left foot. Musa slip. It's with Hugh Undy in the middle. He's got a touch on it. Foot on the ball, brings it back out, left-hand side, but no one's there, and it's going to be Milo to clear. He goes forward. It's now with Theodore. He's got a chance to be up against Scott Lamont. It's back out. Epifano plays it all the way back. And it's with Norton as we just calm ourselves after another good chance. South Hobart entering a good, dangerous position.
When Brennan gets on the ball, they look dangerous, and they need to find him more often. They can't find him at the moment. The ball's coming out of defence are wasteful, missing players as South Melbourne break through the middle, but it's well tackled by Undy. Ludford spends it long, and that's a perfect case in point. The long ball coming out, unable to find that player as Eager finds himself on the ball, spreads it wide right to Marler. Marler will bring it into attack for South Melbourne. He goes long and strong to Lewich. He tries to chest it down. Lewis there to clear away. Only as far as Hatzakostas. Comes into the feet of Lamont. Back to Scott. Scott tries to settle South Hobart and he'll look to bring them up forward. Into the feet of Brennan. Controls nicely. Eager in to challenge and wins it well.
Morton now. Pressures hard. They wrestle the ball to South Hobart. The ball played through of the South Melbourne defence, looking for man out wide, but it's well dealt with by Maynard. Puts it out for Norton. Well done by Braden Mann. He steals this one into the centre. There's Undy offering. He gnaws Undy. He's brought down, but it's not paid by Copra. Man is furious. It looked like a pretty fair shout as Icky's on the ball now for South Melbourne. They look to regroup. Play forward. Well stolen by Lewis. They might have another chance here, South Hobart, as Morton runs forward. Plays it out to the left. Undy on the edge of the box. Tries to squeeze the ball through. In the end, it's well cleared by Musa and out to Lamont.
Tell you what, it may have been a good penalty shout, but I think Andy Brennan was well and truly open there for a cutback. As much as Braden Mann might have a claim, that's a pass to low back, and he just hits it across on his right foot. For me, that's the option there, and maybe another wasted chance for South Hobart.
Yeah, but to the naked eye, gee, that looked like a fair penalty shout. Corn Dog, I take your point. And that's perhaps the downfall of man. Sometimes a little bit too self-centred, a little bit too selfish. And often you want strikers to be selfish, but perhaps the option there was to square to Brennan or to Undy. South Hobart, another good period. They've got to make one of these count.
Yeah, no, certainly was a fair claim for a penalty. It's hard to see from here to be certain, but it definitely looked like Braden Mann certainly felt like it was a penalty. It's gone forward. It's with Theodore. Well done by Matt Lewis. Wins it. It should be a South Hobart throw. He's done well to wrestle possession back for his team. And on the right-hand side, it's going to be Connor Cass to take. He's got a beautiful... By the way, today, often you come and you see some dull kits, but I like this white versus bright red. I'm really liking looking on the eyes. It comes forward now through South Melbourne. It's with Reid, who's had a good start on the left-hand side. He can't quite find Theodore, and it's going to go out for a throw-in. And South Hobart really have just put themselves right. The last 5 minutes certainly been theirs, you'd have to say, boys.
Right in the contest, you got to say, and as Paske said a little bit earlier, when Brennan's on the ball, they look dangerous. He comes back from Norton. Eager tries to get it back out to Norton. Ping-pong header comes along to Brennan. He puts it in the bullseye for Lamont. Spreads it further to Scott. Slows up a little bit off the turf. Plays forward. Undy on the ball now. He's got Eager on his back. Holds it up. Goes back to Scott, and it's just wide of him. A disappointing ball there, and that's what I've been saying about Undy Paske. I like him as a player, but sometimes he's just a little bit scrappy in possession and can cough up the ball at times, as Marler will throw in for South Melbourne.
Marler's having an absolute mare with the throw-ins. There's not that much wind about at the moment. That's the second time today that he's thrown it in and it hasn't even made its way into the pitch. Having an absolute mare with the old throw-ins.
I hate to be derogatory, but he's had a fair bit of lip thrown about to the South Hobart boys as well. And if you can't throw in, I don't know why you're really having a chirp, but it's his call as he managed to find possession there, and it's a bit of a Bronx cheer from, I think, his own fans there. So it's a bit stiff for the South Melbourne lads, but it's gone forward. Scott Lamont does well. But Lewich in the air again, and it's gone forward now. It's with Reid. Can't quite control it, but managed to get under eventually. Now just flicks it down the line. Looks like a good ball. Ludford does well. Gets himself in a good spot. Lewich, good pressure though with the body. Tries to turn. Ludford does well. Good tight tackle. Back inside of Theodore, but a great tackle from Connor Cass. Gets in with a slide tackle, and it's gone out for a corner. And South Hobart managed to scamper and get rid of that one.
Really sharp tackle there from Cass. A goal-saving tackle, you might say. Came in off the left, sucked in as a good right back should, and was able to cover his central defence there. South Melbourne with another dangerous corner. They look dangerous at set pieces. There's always this argument, Corn Dog, about playing zonal or man marking. South Hobart zone mark again. There's two at the back. Brennan flies. Ludford's there again. He clears it all the way out to the top of the 18. South Melbourne try to bring it back in. Morton will head clear again. Only as far as Hatzakostas. Cass there to clear away now. Hatzakostas with a good defensive header. Undy and Morton now. Nice little touch there from Reid. Flicked on to find Theodore. Got a little interchange, and it's a South Melbourne throw.
Reid has been quite flamboyant so far, Paske. I tell you what, lots of little flicks. But on what you're saying about the zonal marking, I think the problem is, at the moment, the whole of the South Hobart defence is sitting very deep, and if someone gets a good run at it, and they're going to jump over the top of them, you can't vertically jump if you're just standing still, as well as someone who's running onto it. So that's the problem at the moment. Then a couple of outliers as the throw goes long, and can't quite get on the head of their Reid. It's a good throw from Marler. It's come back, and it's going to free kick, I think, maybe.
And Copra with a rare whistle, you might say, Corn Dog. He's I don't know if he's got some chew in his pocket or something. The whistle's been stuck in there, but there's certainly been a few that he's been letting go.
Rare enough that I didn't even realise he blew it. So it's it just happened. And it's going to be a free kick, I guess, for a tussle in the middle there after a long throw. It's going to be South Hobart with Pearce to take. Pearce looks long in the direction of Mann, Ludlow, and it's going to be Mann who flicks it on beautifully. It's Marler who concedes a throw, and he's going to say, well, you see if you can do any better, boys. Here's a throw in for you. It will be Liam Scott or Andy Brennan. Andy Brennan takes it quickly. Ludlow tries a little chest, but Eager might get in first. Ooh. But he just gets in first before Andy Brennan. Really got close there at the end as Andy Brennan. I think a little bit nippier on his feet.
Some nervy moments when Andy Brennan are running at them, I can tell you that. There's although they're 1-0 down, they haven't probably played their best football. South Hobart not out of this game at all as Scott throws into the box, finds Brennan, the danger man. As I said, he's taken this one off his leg. He looks to square it up. It's well cut off by Marler. Out now to Reid. He does well to get it round Scott and drives forward. Cut off by Lamont. And then to Brennan, who tries to catch Maynard off, but he's up to the task, races out and collects this one. Interesting to note, Braden Mann's still filthy on that penalty call. Was going on about it before when a goal kick was about to come in. As the ball's pumped out, not the best. Scott picks it up. Ricochets out off Reid. Eager there with Undy. He wins the ball to Eager. Plays it through into the middle. It's won by Theodore. Out to Lewich. And back to Reid. Scott with him. Reid plays it down the line. It's a lovely ball for Theodore. Cuts it across. And it's with Lewich now, and he tries a strike, but it's well blocked by Lewis, who was hot on his heels. Scott Back to Ludford, the skipper. Driven forward, looking for Undy. He's bustled into by Eager. Probably a foul there, but Copra yet again leaves the whistle alone as it's pumped forward by Musa and well collected by Scott. 1-2s with Ludlow to great effect. He's got Marla to deal with now. Marla collects him, and this time Copra blows the whistle. And I've got to say that's a fair foul. Really did bustle into Liam Scott, and definitely a foul. And Marla might just have to watch himself, or he might be getting one of our favourite slices of cheese from Copra.
Yeah, he looks like he's in the cheese business, I think. He's making a move to put a down payment on some cheese at the moment, that's for sure. As Scott on the left here now. A rare chance to go forward. Needs to beat the first man, Corn Dog, and if he doesn't, drag him.
I'll be filthy on him if he doesn't, I tell you right. Corners, free kicks, once they go into the wall, those ones in a dangerous area, and just smacks into the wall, and nothing irks me more. It should be Liam Scott. I reckon he's the sort of bloke that learns from his mistakes, so he'll float this deep, and I reckon Scott Lamont's... Oh, that's just horrendous. He's got a second chance. I reckon if I'm South Hobart, I go, you know, we don't deserve another crack at that. Liam Scott, get someone else in. Swap someone else, get him on the dead balls.
Get Morton on the ball to whip one over. We've seen him whip balls before. That's not good enough from Scott.
Scott has a chance to redeem himself with a throw. It goes off the head of Lamont, and Eager deals with it. Out now to Lewich. Plays it back to his defence, and it's Cannon forward. Lewis should deal with this one. Does well out in front of Cass. He does well to keep it in, does Cass. He's nipping along the right line now. He does very, very well, but he's stolen off him by Icky. Play back to Norton in defence. Drives into midfield. Lamont, who's operating a lot of space. I've liked Lamont's game. Picks it up. Plays back to Ludford. Puts it out in front of the attacking pack of South Hobart. But Maynard, yet again, pretty wise to it and picks it up.
Yeah, Snowy Maynard. He's blonde up top, isn't he, Gilly? He's Snowy, my boy.
Don't know how blonde
he looked to send it long and strong down the hay. Diddle, Corn Dog. Surely Lamont's pushed in the back. I tell you what, Copra has put the whistle away. Big shove in the back there, and Lamont foul goes begging. The ball comes out wide right to man.
Having said that, I think the one thing that he's put the whistle away a lot on has been those runs in the back. So whether or not he's just gone, I reckon they're all going to fake it today, or I don't know what's happening there, but there seem to be a couple of clear fouls, just people going through the back. I know we're not playing AFL, but in the back still does exist in this one as well. Hugh Undy gets a good flick on forward, and Andy Brennan's beaten to it by Eager, who is writing a little novel today about no-nonsense centre-back defending. He is just making us know that he does not muck around. Anyone who comes near him, he'll kick, and he'll just get rid of it as soon as it comes with a head or foot.
Eager by name, eager by nature. Just gets it straight on the boot. As Mann has this one, he's bustled into. Well done, and they're out through Epifano. Puts it out in front of Lewich, but Pearce should collect. And he does so. Bounces this one. Of course, Pearce missed the FFA Cup tie, so a big game for him today. As it's played short to Ludlow, the Morton along to Lamont. A nice ball picks out Scott to perfection. Into Undy. He puts this one over the South Melbourne defence, but Liam Scott clearly offside.
Good to see South settle into that, though. Probably one of their best passages of play. Able to find the feet of Morton and play through the middle. Lamont linked up nicely. And as you said, Corn Dog, Eager writing that novel. I reckon Musa and his partner's probably going to write the forward. No nonsense defending 101.
It's a lot of leverage on a lot of the clearances. And I tell you what, Muller at the back, still, I don't know who he's talking to, but whether he's arguing with himself or what's going on, he just won't be quiet. It's hit Lud for losing in the sun, but no danger. That's the one time Lewis doesn't go for the ball, and it's managed just to float through to Pearce. As it goes forward, see how Musa clears this one straight up. I reckon he'll win the other header. He does. He goes forwards with Ludlow nearly, but it's going to be Reed who nips in. He tries a massive whack. I don't know what he was playing at there. Scott Lamont, who's got the ball, gives it back to Liam Scott. Now to Ludlow. We've seen the Scots combine a lot, one with the first name, one with the last name. Nick Morton's pass, can't find Scott Lamont, and it's gone out for a throw into South Hobart, apparently, as Nick Morton's kicked that straight out, and there's a bit of a leveller maybe, or they need about 6 to get up for a penalty if it was a penalty. Liam Scott's on the ball, and Hatzicosta's throwing his weight around. He's rather just like and lay into someone, and Copra says no. He's consistent at least. I don't mind it. He's refereeing a physical game, and as much as it's sometimes frustrating to see, it's been consistent. And if he doesn't pay that one, it's all good for me.
He's Copra's lost the plot. I'll give you, and he's lost this game already. We're 40 minutes in, and someone's going to get hurt here. There's been no cards as Brennan gets through now from a ball from Morton. Oh!
Oh, here we are. A bit of fire out here on Darcy Street. And Musa showing a slice of cheese for what was a horrible challenge on Andy Brennan. It was very, very late. A slice of cheese for Musa.
I tell you what, if Liam Scott doesn't get a yellow card here as well, that's just not a great piece of refereeing, you'd have to say. It's a clear yellow for Musa. It's a clear yellow, and that's just the way it is. But Liam Scott, no need to come in and just push him. I think he might have got away with that one. He has. As Brendan Copra told him to deal with it. And guess who still talked to the referee after it happened? Is the right back Marla. He's still having a word to say. Dangerous area here for South Hobart. Couple over. We've got Ludlow and Braden Mann. As Copra lines up on the whistle. Let's just see. He's finally put out a slice of cheese. There's been a lot of fouls. Potentially missed. Potentially let go. Maybe from now on he'll be clamping down. Maybe more slice of cheese. For our sake, I like him. For the players' sake, I don't. Braden Mann to take the free kick. Whips one in towards the back post, but it's too high. Not a bad area from Braden Mann. Maynard looked to have it covered snowy at the back, but it's just going to go out for a goal kick just over the bar. The game is livened up at 2. We've got about 5 minutes left in the first half. South Hobart really starting to put their claims on it. Down this left side, they're getting a lot of runners. Liam Scott overlapping. Hugh Undy is covering a lot of yards from midfield. I think he's almost playing a bit of front three and then in the middle three as well. They're really trying to push him on and make sure that extra number when they get the pressure on Eager and Musa at the back. The goal kick's gone forward, got caught in the wind though. Good header on by Icky. Managed to stick a little samurai haircut onto the edge of the ball. Plays out now to his left back mate, it's Norton. Tries to play it forward. He only gets a good foot in though. It's back with Norton, man. Tries to pressure him with Musa. He clears. Surprise, surprise. It's gone forward. It's up with Icky. Good header on. Theodore, a chance to run in the defence here. Tries to play it through to Lewich. It's Ludford who gets it out. And then a second challenge. Fantastic. As Lewich, I think, might have stood on Ludford's calf there. Old accident, I think, as Reid tries another flick. And then pushes Morton off. And silly from Reid. Had the ball at his feet. For mine, that's a foul. South Melbourne don't like it. He's got the ball, not need to extend the arm as the ball goes forward quickly. Scott Lamont, and another surprise, Eager clears it out with the head. We've seen a lot of the same things. And it's a throw in. Not happy with the referee, the South Melbourne fans, but for mine, Reid's just pushed him. I don't know what you want from that. It's Andy Brennan who wins the header, but then it's Marsos does. Brennan chops down Hattie Costas. Hattie Costas says, I'll stand over you and tell you I'm strong. I reckon Massa's got to get a yellow card here. He is an accident waiting to happen, that bloke. Liam Scott's in there throwing his big heavy frame again. I've got to be honest, there's only one bloke you're really looking at to blame here. The control wasn't there early. Brendan Copra's doing a lot of blowing the whistle, but maybe it should have happened earlier. I don't know, gents, but I'm thinking that he's got to deal with Musa here. He's got to deal with Marla here. He's got to deal with Scott here. There's several players that are really, really angry and on the edge of their tempers, and something's got to happen.
And this is what happens when you lose control of the game. When you let little niggly challenges go and you set a precedent that you're not going to pull them up, Corn Dog, players get frustrated, and this is what happens. This is the end result. We're lucky that we're 2 minutes away from half-time. The players can go in and settle themselves down. But this is a problem of the referees making.
It's a slice of cheese. Who for? Andy Brennan.
How Andy Brennan?
Andy Brennan. He did, but how does he escape the book? How does Marla escape a slice of cheese there? How? That's baffling. Copra, honestly, has lost the game here. If he had have been onto these fouls early, it could have been a different story, but it's getting fiery, and as Paske said, we're lucky half-time's not far away.
I'll ask you the question here, gents. What's worse to watch there and what's worse for the game? Andy Brennan's tackle or the remonstrating after?
Exactly. I think if Brennan's unlucky to end up with a slice of cheese, and for the players that remonstrated, they're lucky to get away with it. I think he's, again, wrong decision there, Corn Dog. But maybe the occasion's getting to him too, and maybe he just needs to settle himself at half-time as well. As South Melbourne with an opportunity, Lewis fires off a shot, but Pearce is down to it well, and South Hobart get away. Can they score a leveller a couple of minutes in? The ball goes long and strong. Musa there to clear away, only as far as Lamont. His man tries to fly. Cass is there and then goes down pretty theatrically, and I reckon that one's fair enough to be waved away.
Yeah, it's going to be thrown for South as Cass looked for a foul. I don't think so. It's going to be thrown for South. Cass to take. Not long left in the first half here. It's won by Norton. He flicks it on towards the Theodore. He flicks it back inside. We've got 2 added minutes here in the first half. It's with Icky, plays it forward. It's with Reed. Flicks it inside. Lewich, a good chance here, running onto it. Has a ping. Pierce in a good area though, and does well to save down to his right. Flicks it out now through Liam Scott. A bit of a bad boy at the moment so far, Liam Scott, throwing his weight around. It's with Braden Mann. A flick on. It's not quite too heavy. Nick Morton does well. Eager gets the head of it. It's only back inside. Huandi can't quite react as quick as Norton. And it's back inside Reed. Another little flick. Lewich is onside here. A chance to shoot if he gets the ball. It's still with Lewich. Pierce does well with his feet. A really good effort there from Matt Lewis. He managed to get his body in between the ball and Lewich and managed to keep it off him as Pierce managed to collect now. And throws down the right-hand side. It's with Connor Cash. He's got a lot of pressure on. He's thrown it straight to Epifano. Just rushed that just after they took the time. And it's gone forward. Moose, surprise, goes long. It's with Liam Scott, who heads it back now. It became Pierce who collects. I would dare say we're looking at send this one a little bit longer and avoid a few more danger. Instead, he goes short. It's with Ludford, but he's got plenty of time. And he looks to set things up again. Liam Scott finds a bit of space. Reed's just slacked off there on the right-hand side for a bit of space. Musa clears it with the outside of the left, does well and gets rid of it there for a throw-in for South Hobart. Might be a last frontier before the goal.
I reckon we're odds on for a slice of tomato at some point today. I think the way things are moving, as Liam Scott throws down the line for Brennan. He's smothered by a couple, gets by Reed, looks to flash a ball into the box, and it's blocked by Eager and out, and that is half-time. And Brendan Copra draws it close to a very fiery half of football here at Darcy Street, but South Melbourne got the goal that they need. They lead 1-0 over South Hobart. It came in the 6th minute through Reed. But South Hobart are not out of this contest, boys.
Absolutely not, Gilly. South Melbourne have been good for their goal. Let's not mince words. They've been strong, powerful. They've probably had the lion's share of possession. Let's say 65, maybe 60% of possession to South Hobart's 40. They've been more controlled coming through the middle. Lewich is creating lots of problems up top for Ludford and Lewis. But South Hobart, when they get into that final third, Braden Mann perhaps struggling a little bit, but Andy Brennan, I think for mine, has been a standout for South Hobart. Lamont defensively has been great, but when Brennan gets on the ball, they look dangerous. He's beating players, that fast feet. They are a little bit slow in defence, South Melbourne, and that's where South Hobart need to look to get more ball into Brennan's feet.
Yeah, certainly throwing. What Ken to be happy about at the moment is when they do get the ball, as you said, they are looking good through the runs of Andy Brennan, but they're also getting a lot of midfield runners. So Liam Scott, Huandi and those guys are working hard to make those runs to actually make the South Melbourne guys on their heels. They've got to push them back, and they realise they're not going to get the ball through the crosses. Really, when they've had a cross in, haven't looked dangerous once. It's that, but even if it's from halfway, the lofted ball to the wing, that's when they're really getting the ball going forward. And they have looked good, South Hobart. First 20 minutes, South Melbourne all over them. Deserved the lead, looked like it could be 2-3. After that, South Hobart's really just got the stranglehold on the game. And I'm not saying they've dominated, but they've created the better chances in terms of midfield domination and actually pushing the other defence backwards.
The key story towards the end of the half was definitely some remonstration that went unpunished. I'm baffled as to how probably 2 or 3 players got through that unscathed without a slice of cheese. It just... really strange half from Brenton Copra for mine. I think just didn't use his whistle enough early enough, Paske, and the game got out of hand a little bit. Let's hope that he has a bit of a rethink at half-time and comes out from the sheds in the second half and clamps down on it a little bit, because you don't want tempers flaring like they were late in the half, because football should be doing the talking.
Yeah, look, if you tuned in around Australia, if you're in the north of Tasmania, or around the world, Gilly, because let's be honest, we're live on the World Wide Web. Do give us a shout out. Let us know what you think of the stream so far and the game as a whole, and ask some questions. You can get in touch with the hashtag SHVSM, or you can get directly at us at Paske14, or at Football Fed Taz, or at Trent Cornish. So get involved, and we'd love to hear from you and to know what your thoughts are on the game. South Melbourne certainly look the goods. The next 45 will be interesting. What, if anything, Gilly, do you expect Mawson to try to change in the next 45?
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because halftime 1-0 down, he probably would have taken that in some way, as strange as it sounds. I mean, South Melbourne are a powerhouse of Australian football, let's make no bones about it. Former NSL club, outside the A-League, they're a giant. So I think he'd be fairly happy with how the first half went in terms of they're in the game. And a few little tinkers here and there could change things. I think Hugh Undy's probably hasn't given him the output he would have wanted. Whether that's a talking to and whether he thinks that could do the job for him, or whether he makes a change there and opts for a Darcy Hall at some point.
Quick question, and I pose it to both of you. On the bench, we've got a couple of options. At first glance, you say perhaps do you put Hamlet on, with 25 minutes to go, see if he can change the game. But I pose this question to you. Hamlet has been known to let the occasion get to him and get a little bit carried away. He's prone to a slice of tomato. Who would you put on?
Personally, the way that the front two are playing at the moment, Braden Mann, you have to stick him up top. He can't play anywhere else. Andy Brennan, the way that he's really getting away from Musa and Eager aren't really marking him tight in terms of when he comes a little bit further to get the ball, turns and runs at them. He's really finding his space, even if it's in the middle of the park. For me, if I'm making a change, it's got to be some of the maybe not quite so energetic legs in the midfield if someone's tiring. Hall or Hunt, whoever can play, you want out wide, get the width. That's when they're actually looking good, is when the ball's coming out wide. You've got Scott. A lot hasn't happened down the right so far. Haven't really seen Cass get the ball too much up the park. But Liam Scott's side here with Hugh Undy as well coming onto the left-hand side. That's when it looked dangerous, the ball out wide, and then getting into the middle and getting those things, not with a cross, not with a hopeful cross, but Hunt and Hall, they're the ones that I'd be looking to bring on. They add the pace, and they have the energy to get up and down the park and do a defensive shift as well. I really would be using those two instead of Hamlet. Maybe late with Hamlet if you desperately need a goal, but at the moment the front two is working fine for me, so why change it? I think if you had to put Hamlet, you're going to play him up front, I wouldn't be changing it.
I tend to agree. I think it might just be a little talking to about Undy. I've liked his work. I liked his intensity. Just needs to get his passing on. Needs to be hitting more targets than he did in the first half. A few sloppy balls here and there. But South Hobart on a whole, they just need to feed it more to Andy Brennan. As silly as it sounds, it's a pretty obvious call, really, isn't it? Your star player, you want to get him at his feet. But it was so true in that first half. Every time he had the ball, South Melbourne looked pretty nervy at the back. And as you said early, Paske, they probably don't have the toe, the defenders. They're strong in a lot of areas, and we've seen the no-nonsense approach from them. But in terms of speed, Andy Brennan has certainly made them look vulnerable in that first half.
Yeah, just looking at Twitter here, Gilly, at the social media streams, and a quick few shout-outs. Daniel Quinn tuning in and getting a little bit out of the slice of cheese graphic that is the phenomenal work of Ash, the man behind the scenes. Liam Bentley also tuned in, saying getting heated down at Darcy Street. There's a few yellows dished out and a little bit of push and shove. Nice to have Liam on board. And Wayne Penfold up in the north, a Riverside man. I think he just got given life membership, a massive honour for him up Riverside Club up in Launceston. Nice to have him on side, and also getting a little bit out of the slice of cheese graphic on screen. So if you are listening in, tuned in anywhere, get in touch. Lovely to hear from you.
Little shout out to Ethan Engels as well, also tuning in. Good to see the fellow footballers from the south of the state really tuning in as well if they can't make it today. We've got a pretty good crowd in here. I don't know if we're going to have a little predicted gate number, but anyone fancy a punt? Tell me what we've got here.
720.
I'm going to go a little bit more than that, Gilly. I reckon we're getting. I'm going to go 850. 850, including players, of course, including players and officials and kids who get in free.
Any stray dogs that walk past.
889. 889.
All right, if you are tuning in, give us a prediction. Even though you can't see the crowd, just wouldn't mind hearing your thoughts. Wouldn't mind the prediction because you've probably got as much clue as us, but it is a strong crowd packed into Darcy Street, and I've got to say I've loved the work of the South Melbourne crowd, although at times they've got a little bit fiery at Brendan Copra. They've really brought a unique atmosphere to Darcy Street today that we aren't too used to down in Tasmania, so something to grow on, that's for sure.
I've got a punter who's obviously listening just behind us, Gilly, and he's just handed me his ticket. and he's got number 1257. Now, have they started that at 500? Have they thrown the first 500 tickets away?
I reckon there's no chance that's starting at 0. Actually, let's say it is. Yeah, we got 1,300.
There's allegedly 1,300 people in, Gilly.
I have no idea whether they've done it in order or what, but there's a huge second half awaiting us, boys. We've talked about changes. Obviously, we don't think that Ken Morton's going to pull the trigger at half-time. I think Cass has done all right at right fullback, although he's not generally a fullback, he's more of a winger. He's acclimatised quite well to that position. He's looked all right. I think Lewis and Ludford lack a little bit in height, but I've liked Lamont in defensive midfield. I think he's been really good there.
If, of course, this competition all brought to us by PlayStation 4, Gil, and if I was playing PlayStation at the moment as a coach, and I was in charge of my beloved Arsenal boys, or more to the point, South Hobart, I just think about what I go to in terms of settings and formations and who I look to. Do I change the difficulty level? Probably. That's my first port of call. But beyond that, I think they need... I think they need a bit of luck, a little bit of confidence. I tend to suggest the same as Corn Dog. I don't think they need to change a lot. Lamont has been good in the middle there. There's a question mark for me at the start as to how he would fare in the middle. I think he's done well. He's challenged well. Ludford has had a long day against Lewich, and to be honest, Lewich has had a bit of a field day up top, holding the ball up and bringing other players into it. But he's not on the score sheet, so they've done their job so far. The issue is, how do you find the ball and how do you get it to Brennan? I think Ludlow probably needs to get a little bit more into the game. He's found himself out of it a bit. Morton a little bit non-existent in the middle as well. I'd like to see him stand up, buzz a little bit more. We know he works from box to box, but we need to see him in and about the game to rat a little bit, especially when you see the game go a little bit downhill in terms of those hard challenges that are flying in from the South Melbourne players.
I agree with you a bit on the Lewich call, Paske. I think as much as he's been good, when they've really looked good is when it's been able to be Theodore and Epifano get up alongside him. When he's been one out, he's done well at holding it up, but not a lot of damage has been caused. For the first 20 minutes, I thought Epifano was the best player on the pitch. After that, their best attacker has been Theodore. So it's completely changed around whether or not... Obviously, they're two blokes who've got a lot of pace. They use the ball pretty well. If they can get them both in the game, that's when I think South Hobart really struggle, because at the moment it seems to be one or the other. Reed's done all right. It seems to be a bit of an unusual right winger. He's very tall. Doesn't use to be... His running with the ball doesn't seem to be his best strength, but he's played well as well. So it's more about the impact. Across 45 minutes, we hardly saw much interplay. It was more good skills from one player, maybe feeding in another. They didn't really tie together much, South Melbourne, so I'm guessing a lot more to come from them.
As I understand it, Reed plays up top with Lewich, but perhaps what we're seeing here is a little bit of a change in formation from Taylor, just to settle the boys down. Maybe he's picked out that Lewich is going to be better one up and players running beyond him, just given the height mismatch up top. But look, Reed took his chance well, didn't he, Corn Dog? The ball came in from the corner. It was a free header. It came off the crossbar, and Reed was there just to acrobatically just bicycle it in and open the scoring, and that's been the difference so far.
Yeah, no, look, it was a good, classy finish. He made it happen. The chance came, he took it. But having said that, if that's what knocks South Hobart out of the NPL series, that would be pretty disappointing, because that was a poor piece of defending. The ball just wouldn't come out. It was like it was stuck in there with a force field or something. The ball wouldn't come out. No one wanted to get a head or a foot on it. It stuck in. Good finish. Should have been better defending. If that's what knocks them out, they won't be pleased. You think there probably will be another goal in this. Either way, I'm not sure which way, at least a goal. They've seen enough attacking play to really think there will be.
Yeah, we've had a couple more tweets in, Gilly. Tim Lunnan, Northern Rangers coach down here, also in the Victory League, was named co-coach of the year alongside Ken Morton. Says, good call, boys. Don't know what it looks like live, but online looks like the old long ball game is back in NPL finals. Tend to agree. South Hobart have been forced often in that first 45 to go long and strong. But that's more from pressure than a concerted game effort, I would suggest. It's more them just wanting to get the ball into that front third and release the pressure.
And we have talked a little bit about eager, how he's eager to get it on the boot, and he really does pump it long and strong. So there's a little bit of that going on, Timmy. I don't expect that from Tasmania next week against Melbourne Victory. We aren't too far from getting things back underway here at Darcy Street. Substitutes are warming up out on the pitch. I don't anticipate any changes from either side. the good news for both teams is no one's really looked like they've been troubled by injuries at this point, so all fit and ready. If we are talking substitutes from a South Hobart perspective, obviously we don't know too much about South Melbourne and what they're likely to do. We expect to see Hammer Time, as we said before, probably late on in the piece, and either Chris Hunt or Darcy Hall at some point.
Not long to go. We've got a couple of tunnels being set up by the young'uns, sitting on the ground. Not a lot of energy shown from them. Must have worked hard at half time. Usually got the clap going and all that and getting ready, but either they're going to take longer than we think, or they really just don't care.
Another shout out via Twitter. Aguele is tweeted in saying, great viewing from us in Western Sydney. Nice to have you on board, Aguele. South number 10, very, very good. I'm excited to see the tomato graphic. So I'm not sure whether there is a tomato graphic. And I'm sure that most of them here would be expecting that they'd like to see 11 stay on the park for both teams, Gilly. But yeah, maybe Ash has got a tomato graphic up his sleeve.
I don't think he does. He said to me earlier, I didn't quite get round to the tomato, but hopefully that's a good omen for the game and we see 11v11 for the rest of this one. But there was certainly a lot of fire and brimstone in the latter part of that first half.
What I'm loving, if you look down to the left-hand side of your screen, you won't be able to, unfortunately for you, but the great man Walter Pless is just there with two ladies, just having the time of his life, just the pick of the field for Walter. The pioneer of Tasmanian football has just gone, yeah, look, I'll meet up with whoever I like down there. Looks like he's having a great day.
He is the man, Walter Pless. If you don't know him, well, that's unfortunate for you. But head on to his blog, walterpless.com, and you can get all the latest on Tasmanian football. Latest and the greatest. He's got a lot of great snaps, and I'm sure he'll have plenty from this game later on tonight.
It's fantastic to have national football in the state again, isn't it, Gilly? We've been absolutely blessed. And then, of course, we look forward to Melbourne Victory and Sydney FC coming down next Sunday to play at North Hobart, friendly ahead of the A-League starting up. So plenty of good football to look forward to in Tasmania. But a great opportunity to watch a giants of the game in South Melbourne. And at the moment, they booked their progression into the next round of the NPL Final Series.
Yeah, and I know South Melbourne, from speaking to Ken Morton and what he's heard, there's a real burning desire to do well in this competition, because the other day when it was announced that PS4 and the new partner, it was also announced that the winner of the NPL Final Series this year gets a spot in the FFA Cup. So they don't even need to worry about next year if they can get the job done in this tournament. They want to win it because they missed out this year on the Westwood FFA Cup, and they want to test themselves against the best South Melbourne. So huge opportunity for them, and they'd be hoping they can close out this game and push on to a semi-final.
We might just pause for a second and let you take in the atmosphere of Darcy Street with Akadaka rattling out on the old speakers. Gilly, thunder! A quick shout out to Paul Reardon, I should say. Thank you, Gilly, who's just tweeted in saying, loving the stream, gents. Looking forward to our trip to Tassie this week. We're looking forward to having Melbourne Victory Ball. The football community down here really, really excited to see your boys get down, especially after that huge FFA Cup win against Tuggeranong. Connor Payne looked in sharp form. He was fast down the left, tore them to shreds, and of course Milligan in the middle, Barbarousis. The names just roll off the tongue, Gilly.
They're looking the goods this year, Melbourne Victory, and we might see next week just a little snapshot of what they're going to be like in the Hyundai A-League season when it kicks off a week later. But I think they're going to be up the pointy end of things. I really, really like the squad that Kevin Muscat's put together. We're not far away from the kickoff of the second half here at Darcy Street. South Hobart will be shooting towards the houses, and South Melbourne out to the street end, out to Darcy Street. It looks like they're both coming in unchanged. I'll let Corn Dog kickstart this second half.
Ludlow and Morton with little twinkle toes. It flicks forward now. Lots are lined up for South Hobart. It's played down the left-hand side in the air. Should just be harmlessly nodded back to the goalkeeper. Not quite on the... I think they were quite sharp enough to get that one going there. We've seen South Hobart do that a couple of times, and that's probably one of their worst efforts with the line up across halfway. And it's going to be Maynard to take his time at the back. In the Blight, probably a bit lucky with Maynard facing this way, because if he faced the other way, he'd be clashing with the referee a lot with the floor yellow at the back of his strip. It's with Liam Scott, plays it forward, off of Reed, and it's out for a throw-in to South Hobart. As we smell a couple of delicacies just behind us. I think there's a few people stop off to the great South Hobart canteen, got a couple of rolls and just tucking into them away and making me a bit envious. This has gone forward off Braden Mann off his thigh, with Eager at his back, and it's going to be a throw-in to South Melbourne as we start things off with a bit of a slow period on the far side to us.
Little text in from Chester Wilcox, stalwart of the game down here, says Eager, he reckons Eager reads the play better than a replay. Thanks very much, Chester.
That's interesting. Doesn't a replay read it after the plays unfold? As the ball comes out to the left, as Mann tries to get across the box, and it bounces vacantly over the line and out for a goal kick. Taken swiftly by Maynard, gets it onto Musa, drives it forward in the air. Luich contests, comes along well to Theodore. He dinks it ahead of Ebifano, and it's cut off well by Scott out to the left-hand side. Mann looks to get onto the ball, but he's watched over by Marler, and it'll be a throw-in for the firecracker that is Marler.
Not sure Mann and Copper will share a beer after this one. I think there's a lot of love going on between the two at the moment. It's with Reed. He's got his back to goal, turning in a very, very, very not sharp. I don't know what that word is I'm looking for there. Turning circle. As Connor Cass decides to let Pearce get back in his box, and he clears it long instead off the chest and then through the foot on the right-hand side. It's now with Icky, who does well. Shartley turns past Ludlow and Morton. Now with Norton. Flicks it past Ludlow again. Now it's with Cass, and they've gone away with it. Brennan's on the ball. Icky's tracking him. It's still with Brennan, who gets the ball ahead of him. He's going a bit too big, and he's let Eager in, who clears it forward and does well to keep Ebifano in the picture. He's up against Morton. Back to goal. Tries to turn two, but Lamont was in the great spot there to play it forward now through Connor Cass. Tries to knock it past one player. A little nick on him from Norton, but it's certainly not enough for a foul, and it's going to be a throw into South Melbourne.
Throwing comes in. It's from Norton. Down the line it goes. It's Theodore, rather, who squares this one up, looking for the run of Reed. Bounces off the head of Scott. Reed will pick it up for a throw-in. And then Marler will get involved. The firecracker at right back is Marler. He's certainly got a bit of fire about him. He throws this one into the box. Bounces down for a header for Lewis. He drives it forward. It's only Undy up ahead of them. He's got no support at all, so Eager should mop up. Does well, turns it, plays it ahead out to Icky. He puts it out in front for a bit of work for Reed to do, and Scott wisely watches this one out for a goal kick. Decent start from South Melbourne here at Darcy Street. They lead this one 1-0. They struck in the 6th minute of the first half through Reed. Pearce plays it out. It's a nice ball. Picks out Cass to perfection, but it bobbles off his boot and is well cleared by Norton.
Really good distribution from Pearce there out from the back. Cass probably should have done a little bit better. He controlled it nicely. Ball comes into Brennan now. Calls for the ball. And, linesman has flagged a throw-in for South Hobart now on the right. They've come out pretty vibrant. Question is, next 10, 20, can they break them down?
I'd love to see a percentage of Moose's kicks so far. How many have travelled over 10 yards? He's just hoofed it a lot today. I know I've said it, but and again, just kicks it forward. It's going to be a foul to Luich up against Lewis, and wow, that's a slice of cheese. Now, I'm not sure. Usually I'm all about calling out a slice of cheese. Now, after what's happened in the first half, has he got a direction at half-time to say, be stricter on it, get on top of it? Because if that's a yellow card compared to what happened in the first half, I have terrible eyes.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there, Lewis. Quick little shout out to a few boys that I know went over to South Melbourne for trials back in their heyday. Simon Wilson, Nathan Grattan, saying is our boy Petka on the bench. No, I think him and Trim Bowley have called it a day long ago. Ball looking to come in now from South Melbourne. Long and strong. Reed nods it down. Luich finds himself clear in the box. It's Epifano. Long and strong. Free in the back. Oh! Great save from Pearce with his feet. A phenomenal save and keeps South Hobart in this match.
Unbelievable from Pearce. I don't know how much he knew of it, but that was sensational. Just a little star jump and just whacked it a good 40 yards up the field. Sensational bit of goalkeeping. It's back with South Melbourne though now on the right-hand side. They managed to keep it in. Chance to get across and hold up instead. It's gone inside now, but it's blocked by 2 South Hobart players. We see extraordinary bit of glove work from Callan Paske without the gloves. Bit of footwork, really, and it's rare from a goalkeeper. His 2 best saves so far have actually been both with his feet, so I think he'll be pretty happy with that. It's gone forward now. It's back with South Melbourne in a good area. It's Theodore, Trosplady and Lewich in a good area, but it's Ludford who clears. Up with Braden Mann. Plays it out on the far side, but Marla and Eager are going to shepherd that one out, and it's out for a throw into South Melbourne.
Braden, he's had a very, very good season in the local competition in the Victory League, of course, taking out the Mitsubishi Motors best and fairest, but hasn't been his day so far as Lamont plays forward. It's a nice ball out to left, but unfortunately Brennan was miles offside, and that halts that thrust forward for South Hobart, and South Melbourne will be able to regroup. It's still 1-0, very, very dangerous lead for South Melbourne. South Hobart not without their chances, but South Melbourne had bulk of possession, haven't they, Paske, and they look better throughout as Eager looks to take this one. The skipper for South Melbourne drives them forward. Lewis contends with it underneath. He's the only one there. It comes out to Undy. Hard pressure coming. Goes back to Scott. Does well. Gets it by Icky and through to Morton. Morton plays it immediately to Ludlow. Plays it out on the right to Mann. It's seen away by Norton. Comes to Cass. He turns with it. Plays to Morton. Back to Cass. Back to Lewis. He gets this one straight on the boot. Knew Lewis was coming. Brought down by the South Melbourne defence. It's with Icky now in midfield. Looks back the other way. A boot in by Lamont. Gets it to Brennan, receives back. Out to Cass. He can get his dribbling game going. Dinks by a couple. Does really, really well. Cass is on here. Oh, he's halted by his own bit of work. It comes back to Morton. Plays it through to Undy. Plays out on the left to Mann. Unfortunately, the flag is raised by referee Jimmy Hordle, assistant referee Jimmy Hordle, and South Hobart denied a chance on goal.
Yeah, it looked like he's just not really making a run. A bit of a waste opportunity there, because obviously he came from an onside position to present, and it's just a wasted go for there. It was a good pass from Nick Morton. Like to see Connor Cass light up the game with his dribbling skills. It's always exciting to watch. It's Maynard who's robbed us of the snowy effect this half. He's popped the cap on. Probably sun affected, but I still think it's stiff. As Scott Lamont's pushed out and Copper decides to ignore it. And it's back with Icky now. He's got a chance. He had a chance to shoot there as the ball set up nicely for him. It's with Norton now on the left-hand side. Gets in a pull cross. It's Matt Lewis who'll clear it out with the hair. It's with Connor Cass now. Will he set the game alight again with his dribbling? He wants to. It's with Icky. He's trying not to take on Icky though. And it's going to be a throw-in as Hatzikostas came in pretty hard on Ludlow. He wasn't too pleased with that one. There's been a lot of claims for free kicks today. Maybe players got to get over it and just realise, well, I'm not going to get all of them, so I should shut up. It's Norton now. It's back with Epifano. Runs away from goal. Tries to get across him, but it's well blocked by Connor Cass. He's had a good couple of minutes here. Lamont's clearance isn't where he intended to go. Huandi wins the header. It's only as far as Mala. He chips the ball forward. Lewich is offside, though, as he wins a great header. Absolutely cleans up Hugh Ludford, I think, there. Just went straight, perfectly within the game, but just cleaned him up. Hugh Ludford copped that one, and he's not liking it.
It wasn't fond of that effort from Lewich, he has to be said. Pearce will bring this one in. A short offering from Morton ignores that. He'll look to drive him long. It'd be fairly dangerous, I think, against a pretty formidable strike force in South Melbourne. Chips it ahead, looking for Ludlow, brought down on Ludlow's chest. He's got a couple of contend with Ludlow, does really, really well. Gets out on the right for Cass, runs onto it. Cass looks one way, goes back, has Hatzikostas covered. Goes to Lewis and then to Lamont and then to Ludlow. The L's combine and back out to Cass. That's nice passing from South Hobart. That's what we've come accustomed to down here. Is played forward off the head of Musa and then to Ludlow. He can't thread a ball through. It's cut off. It's with Hatzikostas. Gets it out. Finds Icky. Icky plays it back to Norton. Drives a high ball forward. Looking for Lewich over all their heads and Ludford just goes whack. And pumps this one out of play, just wide of the South Hobart bench. Interesting to note, Ben Hamlet is warming up, although I'm pretty sure he warms up for a full 90 minutes and could get 0 minutes. He's always warming up. As a throw-in comes in, it looks like Cass is collected by Lewich. There's a bit of confusion there for a little bit, Corn Dog.
We're going to see Mann come off, aren't we?
I don't think there'll be a change quite yet. I think Benny Hamlet's a perennial warmer-upper. He just loves it. I thought that was the first foul we'd seen for the push in the back, and then Copper's played it the other way, and I thought, hang on, He can't have waited all this time for it to be wrong. But he did rearrange the arms and pointed the correct way. And as Connor Cass's free kick's wasted, and he might be wasted. It's with Hugh Ludford now at the back. Plays it forward, little chippy attempt. So he's straight to Marla, right back for South Melbourne, who gives it straight back to Lewis. A little bit of volleyball going on here. Tennis volleyball, however you like it. Norton goes long and high. Should be Pearce's. That's travelled a long way. That has a good effort, really, from Norton there at the back for South Melbourne. As Pearce plays his own little game on the far side and shepherds it out from himself, then gets it back again. It's going to be a goal kick for South Hobart.
Classic childhood game, dodge the ball. That's what he was playing there. As Pearce will bring this one in, he'll pump it back in, or he might go to Lamont short. Morton also offering short. He's spoiled for choice here, is Pearce. I think he'll drive it long and look for man. Flies over his head. Well won by Eager. It's down to the South Melbourne midfield. They pump it forward looking for Lewich, and it's well collected by Pearce. Thrown out to Lamont. Across to Lewis. And then to Caleb Ludlow. He miscues this ball a little bit, but Cass makes it look all right. Plays it through to Undy. Finds man further. Does really, really well to dink by him. Keeps it in, does man. He can cut this one back across, looking for Brennan, and cut off well by Eager. Lovely bit of play there from Braden Mann. Just when we were saying he might be coming off the park, he turns on something like that, and he's absolutely made Musa look a little bit silly out on this right side. Just turned it on.
Yeah, bright bit of work there from Mann, and Cass has come of age, I think, in the second half too. He looks sprightly, up for the challenge, and so's Liam Scott as Cass comes forward, looks to whip it to the back post. Maynard is there, he comes, he can't challenge, and Brennan blazes over. South Hobart have perhaps their best chance of the match.
Maynard looked all at sea there as he did not look confident coming out to collect that ball. And of all people we want that to fall to, maybe Caleb Ludlow, but Andy Brennan's there in the great spot and just flashed it. Looked like he didn't believe he was going to score. Leaned back on it and it sailed way over the bar. Disappointing effort there from Andy Brennan, but good bit of play here from South Hobart. 12 minutes gone in the second half and looking pretty bright. Ready to see if they can snatch an equaliser to get right back into this one. It goes long. Lewich goes over his head. Oh, good header on from Epifano. Managed to win it over Lewis, but only into Pearce, who's also had a great start to the second half. Been pretty busy. Drops at his feet now as South Hobart look to have a fair few pushed on. Nick Morton joining up there with Braden Mann. And he goes long down the left-hand side. It's Ludlow versus Hatzikostas. Ludlow gets the first touch into Hatzikostas though. It's back with Andy Brennan now. First time I've really seen him run with the ball so far in this half. He flicks it forward, pass. Oh, Braden Mann. Eager's gone down. Braden Mann might have dealt with Eager there. It's with Andy Brennan. Has a hit! And it's wide to the right. I tell you what, I reckon Braden Mann got rid of Eager there and the Cobra just didn't see it. And Andy Brennan ran to all this sorts of space and had a great chance to run even further, I think. I don't know why he was shooting from that far out, but just a wasted chance again, Paske.
Perfect combination of the speed button and the trick stick. If we're using PlayStation terminology, Andy Brennan able to cut them to pieces when he gets the ball, and it's just they're not getting it to him enough. As Lamont heads clear for South Hobart. Some ping-pong action back and forth in the middle of the park. Comes long and strong from Musa. Ludford under it. Number 7 hasn't even looked at that. Epifano just jumps straight at Ludford, and Copra rightly blows the whistle.
Tell you what, actually hasn't been a lot of damage done from those balls forward. Even if the South Melbourne players are competing, if they are taller with the headers, they haven't done much damage at all. There hasn't been many opportunities created from them. South Hobart's toiled hard the whole game. I think they've been pretty good to me.
Whereas South Melbourne look most dangerous at those set pieces, Corn Dog.
It's interesting to note a bit of a tactical change from South Hobart in the second half. Of course, Lamont was playing defensive midfield. He's dropping back a lot further, and it's allowing Lewis to push out to the right and cast a bomb on a bit more. And we've seen it's worked pretty well thus far. As Scott throws in, finds Brennan, holds on to it, dishes along to Ludlow. He does well, weasels by a couple, but Eager's onto this one. Jeez, he's not a bad reader of the ball at all. He's eager as it comes along to Reed. On halfway, looks to cut it across to Icky. It's chopped off, but Reed's back on the ball. Does nicely. Along to Marla, the firecracker. Dashes away from Undy, gets it into the centre. Is with Epifano. Gets it along to Marla. He scoops the ball out to left. Nobody home but South Hobart. And it's not their best bit of work, but in the end it's cleaned up from Braden Mann and out to Pearce. Then to Cass. Cass tries to play on the outside of Icky and down the right, looking for the run of Ludlow goes out of play. A throw-in comes in through Norton and receives back from Icky. Into midfield, Theodore puts it out on the left, finds Luich. Does well, dinks along, finds Icky, traps down on his chest. Does nicely, a few little dance moves. A 1-2 step and then tries to drive the ball into the box, but it's well blocked by Connor Cass and out for a throw-in. Now this is where you'd love if you're South Melbourne, you'd love Kitty. You'd love to bring Kitty on. The Vortex. You'd love to unleash a Vortex throw, but I don't think that's in their arsenal. The throw-in looks to come in through Norton. It's a high one. Finds Luich, but it's well dealt with by Ludford and Morton. Comes out almost with Undy. He bustles over someone. He's in serious pain. Is that Hatzi Costas? He's in serious trouble. Undy just collected him. No malice in it. Nothing really in the challenge at all. They just collided, and straight away he looked in trouble.
Went down, grabbed the knee straight away. Perhaps he just landed awkwardly.
Yeah.
He went up and challenged for the ball there. I think it was with Undy.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a real clash, but I think maybe he's just landed awkwardly. He grabbed it straight away.
Yeah,
and Taylor has called straight to to one of his boys that's been warming up. I think he called for Tyson Holmes. I think we're about to see come on as Hatzikostas looks in a lot of pain.
Yeah, certainly the landing there. Just as soon as he went down, he let out a bit of a yell, and it doesn't look good. Straight to the knee, and he hasn't moved at all since he rolled over onto his side. So you think if we stretch it off and have a bit of a break in play here, be good for both teams to get a bit of a breather, but not good for Hatzikostas, who's actually been pretty bright and has done a lot of work, made a lot of tackles. He's been one of South Melbourne's real movers and shakers in the middle of the park there. So. Not good to see anyone get injured, of course.
Chance for both teams to perhaps just settle a little bit and think about what they can do to change the game in the next 28 minutes. Ken Morton needs to try to change something here. He's having a lot of chat to Braden Mann. He's down on the touchline, talking to him about where he wants him to play. They are finding themselves dropping a lot and without a focal point up top. And perhaps Hamlet might come on and change that for us, Gilly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. As we always talk about the bench of South Hobart and how they've got just it's a bit of embarrassment of riches really on the sideline. This is a different level though, and the Victory League's probably not the class of what we're seeing here in South Melbourne today. And the bench all of a sudden they come back to further peg down, so they're not starting, but we still think there's quality. That the big thing about South Hobart is one soldier down, the next soldier in sort of thing. So
pleasing to see Hatzikostas is on his feet. He hasn't opted against the stretcher, so that's a pleasing sign. So perhaps not as serious as we first thought. Corn Dog.
Still looks to be struggling. He's obviously not playing any further part in it, but yeah, at least it's always better to see them coming off like this. I think it's better for the player as well, I think, just to sort of feel like, I'll get past it. But we'll see what I'm guessing Holmes is going to slot straight in the midfield there. You'd think straight back into his position.
Play coming up for South Melbourne. Hatzikostas.
He's been good today, Hatzikostas. Hasn't done anything amazing to break the game wide open, but was solid in the middle there, was ratty, was winning balls, and certainly not allowing Ludlow and Undy and Morton to get into a rhythm in the middle. So be interesting to see how Holmes slots in. A bit of a like-for-like replacement from what we understand. A nice ovation for Hatzikostas as he comes off. Well received by the South Melbourne faithful who have packed out their stand and made their way down from Victoria. Roughly 30 minutes to play in this NPL Finals fixture. South Melbourne lead. South Hobart 1-0 away from home. Reed the scorer with a nice overhead bicycle kick from a set piece after the ball came back off the crossbar. And Kane Pearce with the ball in his hands. He'll send it long and strong. Given that South Melbourne had possession of the ball, he gives it straight back to them. That's nice sportsmanship. Good to see after the fire of the first 45.
Having said that, sometimes it's hard to know really what sportsmen like here because they've lost about 60 metres and obviously they still have possession, but it makes it a lot harder for South Melbourne as Ludford goes forward with the header, Scott pulls out of that one, which isn't too bad because Theodore wasn't able to create too much damage. It's with Ludford who clears. Back to Reed. Tries to get it inside to Epifano. Does well. Luich has a chance here. The ball at his feet. He's holding on to Ludford even though he has the ball. It's Icky who tried to get in, but it was Connor Cass who got the clearance. Oh, well done. Ludlow just managed to get the foot in there before Norton could get in. I think one thing that's happening so far is that Luich is, as much as it's expected that he's going to dominate in the air, he infringes quite a bit. He actually holds on to the player that he's with. He shepherds them, I think, sometimes illegally, and it hasn't been punished once by Copper. I'm not sure if he's not aware of it. He's choosing to ignore it. And it's going to be Matt Lewis to come off and Ben Hamlin on. So there's only one message there. Ben Hamlin's going to go straight up forward, you think. 3 at the back with Scott Lamont here, Ludford, Liam Scott. And it's going to be a bit of a front 3, so I'm not sure how they're going to line up here. You definitely got 3 at the back. It'll remain Lamont, Ludford and Scott, and I think Connor Cass will push on to a bit more of a advanced role. And Nick Morton plays it forward. Braden Mansort, chance to get in here. He doesn't quite control it. For mine, that's play on, and it's Copper doesn't play anything. Yeah. I think it was a fair game there. Musa just went across him, and don't think he'll made a lot of contact to man. Really was ever going to get the ball. He's gone down there, but no penalty for mine, and Copper agrees as it goes forward. Scott wins the header, but it's going to go out for a throw. And what do you think, Paske?
Yeah, look, 3 at the back's a fair shout now, isn't it? You've got to go and try and win this game. You're 1-0 down, 25 minutes to play. So they throw on the hammer time Hamlet, and Lamont just slots into the back there to try to account for the bodies of Reed and Luich. So the throw comes long into the feet of Reed now, and out for a South Hobart throw deep in their defensive area. So Brennan gone more central now. Man has come out to the right, and Hamlet sits out on the left.
Yeah, I think it'll certainly be a pretty fluid front 3 from South Hobart. Now they've got Hamlet on. He'll play in the front 3, whether or not it's in the middle or not. As Andy Brennan gets a chance here. Chance to run. Hamlet's gone through the middle as he tries to knock it past Eager, but Eager in a good spot managed to stop it with his left foot. On the right-hand side now, South Melbourne chance to counter-attack. It's Reed with the ball. Gives it to Theodore, I believe. And then it's Ludlow who nips in and knocks it off to Theodore's foot, and it's out for throwing to South Hobart.
I reckon Andy Brennan's saying, Benny Hamlet, what are you doing running into my space there? Isolate me. I've got the pace. There's no one in that back line that can go with Brennan when he's at full pace. Hamlet just getting in the way and dragging his defender into that area and stifling that attack. A good opportunity 3-on-3 that goes begging.
Another call that frustrates the South Melbourne team, and it was going in the favour of South Hobart on the far side. They throw in, find Undy. He can't keep it. It's one back well. Iski got it. Runs down the right channel, and it's well watched over by Ludford.
I don't know how they're told to referee, but if I'm Brenton Copper and I'm getting yelled at and told I'm making the wrong decision in consistency, at what point do you put your foot down and do something about it? It's not good for the game, and it makes the tackles that little bit of temper flaring. People are getting away with things they probably shouldn't for mine. As Morton goes long, it's with Andy Brennan. Chester back does well. Liam's got on the ball now. Plays it forward. He only couldn't get on the end of it. It's Hamlet who does well. Flicks it on, trying to find Andy Brennan. He flicks it back inside, but it's in the area of Eager, and you don't bet him in the air. The ball's now with Ludlow. Chance to switch play. He's got Connor Cass sprinting very wide. He goes with Scott Lamont first. And now he's trying to find Connor Cass. I think maybe it just took too long there, as Ludlow really should have probably given it to Cass in the first place.
That was a nightmare effort there from Lamont. He picked out some passes to perfection in the first half, but that was one he'd like to have again. As Norton throws down the line, Cass meets it just before it goes out of play, and it comes out off his boot, so it'll be another throw-in for Norton. Goes short, receives back from Epifano, puts it across, and so the new boy, Holmes, will have his first look at him. He does well, gets by a couple, plays it out in front of Epifano. It's well won by Ludlow. He tried to make the most of it, did Epifano, but no foul there as Undy cannons it forward, looking for the run of Hamlet, eludes him, played back through Eager, and then played comfortably forward through Maynard to Marler. He dashes down the right-hand side, out in front of Luich, but Kane Pearce does well, out off his line, saves very, very nicely, does Kane Pearce. Comes out in midfield, it goes. Norton loses it. Man on the ball, plays in front of Andy Brennan. He's beaten Musa here. Plays it into the box. Spills out on Morton. Oh no, Morton has squandered a golden chance, but there's a decent little challenge there from South Melbourne at the back, and it's Eager eager again. It seems like he's been involved in all the good stuff at the back for South Melbourne. He's been pretty decisive with a few of his challenges, and that was a very timely one for South Melbourne. And Morton will have a chance to try and do something from this corner. Delivers in, almost to the head of Hamlet. It's cleared eventually through South Melbourne. Out, contesting in the air through Ludlow. And Epifano comes out to Holmes. He can't keep it. Lamont guides it back to Cass. He gives and goes, and he's dashing down the right-hand side. He's got Morton offering on for Morton. Morton squirts the ball out to the left. It bounces away from man, but he should keep this one in, deep in the front third. Puts a ball into the box and straight to the head of Norton. Heads away. Icky tries to win it. Ludlow does really well. Reed gets this one, plays through. Lewich is on. Oh, and Pearce collects him. Pearce is in serious strife here. A yellow card. A slice of cheese for Kane Pearce. A clear last man challenge. Thrown a slice of cheese. To be fair, there wasn't a lot of contact, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Copra, lucky there's security here for him. That's all I'll say, because that was a shocker. That was a blatant red card. Pearce knew what he was doing. He knew he had to do it, and he would have been willing to take the consequences, and so would have Morton in the South Hobart camp. They would have known that's a red card, but he had to make the challenge. To get off with a yellow, that is strange.
No one begrudges Kane Pearce for making that challenge. He knows he has to do that. It's a professional foul. Everyone knows what it is. How Copra has gone to the cheese room rather than out the back to the garden to pick a slice of tomato. Honestly, South Melbourne are rightly feeling hard done by there, and for all intents and purposes, it should be 10 v 11 now. But South Hobart get away with one. And is that the slice of luck that they've needed?
For one, there's two things there that need to change. I think one, amazing bit of acting from Liam Scott. I think Liam Scott, he put his hands up. I'm here. There's a fence going off. I think he's just got to get it. It's done. He's got to get over it. He's got no emphasis on what's going to happen. So there's a little bit of not really what we want to see between the supporters here. And, so it is a yellow card, but if you're the assistant referee there, so you put your flag up and say, come have a chat here first. He's got the best view of that. Take your time. There's no rush.
Maybe the one thing that saved Pearce was that there was a defender in some form. Oh, good save from Pearce. Oh, no, it's gone wide. Didn't get a touch on that. Maybe the one thing that saved him, Corn Dog, was that there was a defender in the same postcode. Yeah. But I tell you what, he wasn't behind him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Liam Scott's done well. I think he just put his hand up and said, yeah, I was here. It's just got to be a yellow. It did pretty well. And Cobra said, yeah, no worries. So, look, it should have been a red. It's not. We've got to move on. That's part of the game now. Maybe it should have been a penalty to South Hobart in the first half. These things happen. As the ball goes forward, Hamlin might try and keep it in, but he can't. And it's going to be a throw into South Melbourne.
Well, at the same ground earlier on in the Victory League season, we saw probably a harsh red shown to Kane Pearce in the 90th minute for verbal. He's certainly got away with one there as it's played down the right-hand side. Musa cuts it off, and then Undy tries another effort, but Musa again scoops this one forward. Lamont wins in the air. It's through. Theodore gets a head on it. Holmes looks to bustle into it. Ludford clears, but not with any great contact on the ball. One from Reed, plays forward. Cut off now by South Hobart, and Morton looks to stroll down the right. Unleashes Cass. He's got Reed keeping him honest. Plays to Morton, who plays it forward down the right, looking for Brennan. Musa deals with it, but not well enough. Comes to Hamlet, across to Brennan. He's got Musa still on his back, and Musa does well. Kicks it out off Brennan, and South Melbourne escape.
To be fair to the referee or to South Hobart fans, South Melbourne probably got away with a penalty in the first half. So perhaps that's a square up. South Melbourne break now through Marler. He's been vivacious today. Strides forward, tries to play into Theodore, but it's well stopped by Scott. He'll bring it back out for South. Plays into the feet of Morton. Musa is there, nipping at his heels. That's enough to put up off man, and Marler is there to make the interception.
She's calmed down a little bit. There's a fair bit of anger going on still with the South Melbourne fans, which is quite, to me. Oh, he's just trying to make a call there, and he said about 100 words. The throw goes forward from South Melbourne. It's Lewich who ends up on the ball. Now with Reid. Over the little bit of an overhead there as he scored within the first half, which is the current leader, 1-0 up. Another little flick from Reid. He's absolutely loved the flicks today. It's with Nick Morton, goes long and strong. Hamlet underneath the ball, does well to try and control with the chest. It's gone to Holmes. Hamlet gets a foot in. Oh, Theodore, beautiful little candy there. And it's just left it, and it's going to be a South Melbourne throw-in.
Marla to bring it back in, the firecracker for South Melbourne. It's good. There is certainly atmosphere here, Corn Dog. Very vocal South Melbourne crowd. And they know at 1-0 they still aren't comfortable as Marla thrusts this one in. Looking for Epifano, and it's guided out well by Ludford. But South Melbourne have had the bulk of play in the second half. They've looked the goods, just haven't had that killer blow yet. Throwing comes in through Marla. It's not a bad one, but Lamont gets to it first with a header out to Undy. He can't clear. As with South Melbourne, a little turn by Icky and gets it back to Holmes. On the right he goes to Marla. Drives it into the box looking for Lewich. Seen away by Cass, but not far enough. Comes to Reid, and Lewich gets a cheeky little head on it. But Pearce was right on top of that one. Rolls it out to Scott. Plays it straight to Ludlow. Holds it up a little and goes back to his vice-captain. Scott knows that Icky's hot on his heels. Gets it along. Finds Undy. Lets it run a little, and a sloppy bit of work there by Undy. Holmes picks it up, and then Marla, unfortunately, squirts the ball out of play. But I think if someone's going to depart for South Hobart anytime soon, I think it might be Hugh Undy.
Yeah, and I reckon we might see Darcy Hall. Perhaps he'll give him 10 minutes chance as Reid comes forward down the right. Tries to find Lewich, but Ludford is there to clear away. Morton brings it down on his thigh. And there's Holmes. He's looked tidy since he's come on. Interesting play. He's playing in the middle of the park. Reid tries to send it forward to Lewich. Lamont challenges nicely, and then Cass is there to clear away. Only as far as Reid. It's hoof ball at the moment, Gilly. Plays into the feet of Theodore. Tries to find Reid again. Ludford comes out. Tries to find the feet of Hamlet, but Holmes is there. Now Brennan's through one-on-one here. Musa there. Oh, and he blasts over. Brennan with a phenomenal opportunity to square the ledger. It was a nice ball through. South Melbourne caught on their heels. Musa just didn't quite have the pace to go with him. Credit to the defender. He at least put some pressure on as Maynard came out. Brennan did what everyone was hoping he wouldn't do, and he didn't even test the keeper there, Gilly. Very least you've got to do is hit the target, and he'll rue that missed opportunity. 79 minutes in, South Melbourne still lead South Hobart 1-0.
It's gone forward long from South Melbourne. It's Reid who wins the header. It's always busy Reid. It's gone from Lamont, then to Ludlow. Now it's back to Icky in the middle of the park. Does well, good feet. Gives it forward to Theodore. Turns Nick Morton, does well, he's running onto it. Lewich might run to this in the box. He has an early hit. Pearce does well to parry it forward into dangerous area, but it's Hugh Undy who's first to collect it now. Ludlow out jumps Reid, and now they're away. South Melbourne is tracking back pretty slow. The ball's gone the right-hand side. Man's got to show a turn of pace. It's Norton who clears long and strong, and I've seen that ball down to Sorrell, I think, when he cleared that. Good pass, though, and it looks slick there as South Melbourne look a bit tired, actually, as soon as the ball turned over there. It was South Hobart who really reacted faster, and they looked in good areas.
Yeah, the quick movements for South Hobart are certainly working as Castro's into Morton. Right in the right-hand corner in the front third for South Hobart, and it's seen out of play by Epifano. Throwing comes in through Cass, and they should deal with this one through Reid. They do nicely do South Melbourne. He's kept honest by Undy there. Plays in the centre, finds Icky. Icky plays it back to Marla. Puts it ahead of looking for Lewich, but it's cut off by Ludford. And they regroup through Morton and then Lamont. Lamont out wide to Cass. Through to Morton. Receives it back to Cass. He's got to get running here. Plays it down the right. Picks out a South Melbourne player. It's with Holmes now. And he smashes this one into Cass and out for a throw-in.
Norton gives it to Holmes. Tries to get it back to Norton. He gets a foot on it, but good pressure from Morton. Well, Norton does well to hold him off. Nick Morton gives away a foul. As Norton did a good job there to get back on his feet and start playing the ball. Pretty impressive work from the South Melbourne left back. It's going to be his free kick. You think they'll bomb a few forward. The big Moosa goes forward. The big Moose. The Moose.
The last thing that South need right now is infighting, and Morton's just had a fair old go at Brennan. And Brennan, a confidence player who's just missed a shot, probably doesn't need an earful from his teammate. Ball comes along from Norton. Scott is there to head clear. Mann finds it now at his feet. Shapes one way, shapes the other. Icky on his toes. Brennan there. Tries to play it through the middle, but it's all a little bit too quick. They just need to settle. You can understand the panic. They've only got 10 minutes left to play, but they still need to play their game. Still need to try to find the ball and settle on it. The ball comes along from Maynard. Ludlow wins it nicely. Mann tries to flick it over the back of the defence. Hamlet there now. Heads over the back. Mann with some nice control. Marler one-on-one with Mann now. He'll try to find it out to Undy. Undy, nice little bit of work now to get round Reed. Comes out to Brennan. He's isolated now. One-on-one with Norton. Plays into Cass at the byline. It's come across, but well collected by Maynard. Just at a nice height for the keeper. And he'll come away through Holmes.
On the right-hand side now, it's with Theodore. Travelling forward, Lewich has got the ball. Oh, he's got Epifano in all sorts of space on the left-hand side. It's Ludford is going to be penalised for a bit of a tug of the shirt, I think. I'm just not sure how he's seen those contests, because to me, I've seen Lewich do that sort of thing 100 times today, and no, not even a free kick at times, and they're appealing for a yellow card. I realise there may be a decision that didn't go in South Melbourne's favour this half. You can't have everything. You just simply can't have everything. He's going to be eager to take. Who's been, as we've said constantly throughout the day, he's just been in the right place at the right time. Really impressed with his game. Goes long and strong forward. It's Reid who gets to the end of it, but Lamont who clears. Pearce wanted to come and get it. Morton and Icky have a bit of a half-hearted contest, and it goes out the wide now. Epifano gives it to Icky now. Icky turns Morton. Sharp bit of work with his feet. Still with Icky on the ball. Morton tries to tackle him. It's ricochet to Epifano in a good spot. Oh, the lucky clearance from Lamont. It's with Morton. A chance to go forward. They've got to keep hold of the ball here. Oh, Brennan's done well. He's kept the ball. He's past Mercer. Plenty of space on the right-hand side. He's got hammer time going through the middle. It's still with Brennan. Cuts inside. On the left foot now. He passed out to the side. It's not there. Hammer tries to pressure him, and he's popped it over his own bar for a corner. Of all places to clear it, I just think that's probably the worst decision, but it is a corner for South Hobart.
Marler just losing the plot back there. He's stomping around, having a good old yell at himself. I don't think he was happy he wasn't told he had a bit more time there.
Minopoulos.
We're going to see Minopoulos and I think we've seen Epifano come off, so Minopoulos will go up top as they pull everyone back but him for this corner. Morton puts it in, but it doesn't beat that man in the front post. Ludlow tries to bring it down. Icky there to rat at him. Undy comes out to the right. Morton with the ball now. Plays into the feet of Hamlet. Hamlet one-on-one with Muller. Ludford will try to turn. Does so. It's exciting stuff. Oh, great challenge from... I think it was Lewich, actually, to make the challenge, the big striker, to get South Melbourne out of trouble. Lamont to clear away for South Hobart. Pearce goes the hoof all the way up to Hamlet. He's got free ball there. That's that rock at the back. Eager is there to clear away all the way to Reid. Reid sends it long and strong down the right. Minopoulos on the ball there now. He'll hold it in the corner. All the time in the world for South Melbourne. South Hobart are the ones that need to play now. Goes all the way back to Reid. Ludlow out to press him. Minopoulos one-on-one now with Scott. Tries to go around him. It's a good bit of work from the left back from South Hobart. And it's out for a goal kick.
We've got a fan up in repeat in the stand as every 3 seconds says, come on South Hobart. Young girl, she's energetic, but I tell you what, it's annoying. It's with Connor Cass now, he's flicked it forward. A tackle from Icky, we're going to slice a choose. Icky with a samurai haircut, he's going to cop it. Oh no, for simulation is it? Is that a yellow card for simulation, is it? Wow. This has had the lot. What has this game not had other than a slice of tomato, which is still well and truly on the cards, Paske? I did not see that coming.
It's a pizza with a lot at the moment, Corn Dog. Copra seeing things that others aren't, but I think, look, there's no doubt that Cass made the most of it at the end, but he was fouled probably at the start, and he felt like he wasn't going to get it without going down, and that's the problem with the call not coming early. He comes up top to Hamlet, one-on-one now. Brennan streams through the middle. Man on the ball now. Plays it back into Undy. Man. Tries to put into the feet of Hamlet. Hamlet one-on-one with ego, and gee, the South Melbourne captain ever present at the back and clears away nicely.
The kid can play, ego. He's obviously not a kid. He's probably twice my age, but honestly...
He a man, brother.
Jeez, he's impressed. It's with Connor Cass now, ready to take the throw. Still looking lively at South Hobart. It's with Andy Brennan, gets a cross in, it's gone very deep, and no one's there ready to get it. It's going to trail out for a goal kick. As we head in, there's 4 minutes of added time left of normal time. There should be a fair chunk of added time, you'd say. More than enough time for South Hobart to get one back, and they certainly look like they're capable. And Suze McLeod's had a great day here at the football. She's won the raffle, so happy days for Suze. She's a local, so that's a winner for all of us, really.
It'll be Maynard to bring it back into play. We'll drive South Melbourne forward. As we were saying, they don't have to do much, South Melbourne. They just got to get a bit of territorial advantage in these closing stages, and it comes along and Lewich collides with Lamont. Very little ball for Lewich, but Copra has no issues with that one, as Lamont's still down on the deck. I think that was probably a foul, Paske. This is my issue with today's refereeing. Brendan Copra, I'm usually a fan of his work, but there's been no consistency. A throw-in comes in. Comes in through Icky, and Icky plays it down the left looking for Reed. Cass cuts it off. Undy puts it out in front of Brennan. Brennan controls it for a little bit. He's doing a bit of his best juggling work, and unfortunately the line has the next juggle. Throw in now through Norton, down the line to Reed. Holds it up nicely. As I said, they don't need to do too much, South Melbourne. Tries to turn with this one, and good body pressure from Cass to let it roll out of play and out for a throw in.
They're probably, I would suggest there'll be maybe 4 minutes, perhaps 5 of extra time, given the Hatzakostas injury. So they're probably 8 minutes away from progressing here. Everything to do for South Hobart.
It's found its way to Nick Morton. He gives it out to Liam Scott on the left-hand side. Plays it forward now. Ben Hamlet, lots of pressure on him from Eager, and he turns it over there. It's with Icky. For South Melbourne, he gets in a ball. Lewich on the ball now. He's got Lamont at his back. Plays it laterally, Reed. That's a poor pass. And Reed, to me, looks like he's tired and hasn't really had his best second half, I'd have to say. It's with Huon. He's got Andy Brennan presenting down the line. He's got Musa and Norton. Managed to win a throw-in, though, so positive result there for South Hobart. It's going to be a sub for South Hobart. Darcy Hall to come on and Huon to come off. So Huon, I think he's done a lot of work, and maybe hasn't his best day in terms of distribution touch, but I think he's done a fair bit of tracking back, and he's really held the midfield and attack together sometimes. But Darcy Hall comes on now. Bit of a renowned goal scorer, especially in the Reserves League, and he's still very young, but he's got a lot of pace to burn, so hopefully he can create an opportunity. The throw will come in now from South Hobart. Plays it forward now. Andy Brennan's a chance down the line, but it's Norton who gets there first. He now clears high into the air. It's Ludlow climbs over Reed. Good bit of work from the little fella in the midfield. Lewich and Lamont clash. Bit of a foot clash as well as Lamont getting a foot on the ball. It's back with Ludford now, and he plays it out wide with Liam Scott.
Scott on the ball now. Should find Morton in the middle. Does. Plays into the feet of Hall. Nice touch for Mann. He looks to go past Holmes. Marler is there to clear away really nicely. And Mann's about to get another yellow. Are we here?
Slice of cheese.
Slice of cheese for a late challenge on Marler. They've had a big contest all day. And it's been niggly. It's been really niggly.
It's been niggly indeed. We're into the 90th minute now, so just added time ahead of us. It'll be interesting to see how much of that there is. Paske, of course, South Hobart now is just last chance saloon. They've just got to throw everything forward and try and get an equaliser and take this one to extra time.
There's no point playing for pride here in a gallant 1-0 loss. There's nothing gallant in that. As Lamont tries to come to the feet of Minapoulos. Holmes plays it out nicely. Into Minapoulos, one-on-one now with Ludford. Comes into the feet of Luich. Hamlet now with a nice bit of work to work him off the ball. Really good one to bring man into it, and it's a throw in deep in attack now. They've got to stream forward. The players are tied. 6 minutes extra time on the board.
Good bit of work from Benny Hamlet there. You could use the body there. The South Melbourne boys certainly didn't like it, but I love to see him throwing the rig about. It's with Darcy Hall now, plays it back into Ben Hamlet. He's chopped down. It's going to be a free kick to South Hobart.
Does Pearce come forward?
I hope so. Gee, I want to see the big Cone Pearce up there and nod one home. I reckon he'd simultaneously combust.
A late chance for South Hobart to get back into this game. If you've just joined us, you missed a feast of football. But we're 91 minutes gone here. South Melbourne lead. South Hobart 1-0. And are just minutes away from progressing. A late chance for South Hobart here. Morton, the delivery has to be good. And again, they fail to clear that front man. As Corn Dog looks around to the rest of us with disgust. That was a chance gone begging again to get the ball in a danger area.
Is it too late to sign me up? Because I guarantee I'll kick it over the first man.
Probably is too late in the 91st as it comes along. Brennan has it for a moment. Sharked off him by Holmes. It comes back to Brennan through man. What can he do here, Brennan? Tries to get across the box. Eager gets a touch on it. Ludford in uncharted waters with a ball. Holmes picks this one up and just backtracks. Oh, it's a very, very risky ball there by Holmes, but he gets it along the ground and they escape South Melbourne, at least for this moment. Comes along Mont. He hammers it back to Scott. He's got up in there eventually there. Lamont played forward. Holmes wins a header, comes out to Marla. And then across to Theodore. Gets it along. Played down the right-hand side, looking for the run of Theodore. Ludlow on it. Turns and plays immediately. Bounces away Marla. It bounces off his chest and out of play. So it'll be South Hobart to bring this one in. Surely added time. 6 minutes, was it? So, geez, we got some time still to play. This comes back to Scott. Brings it down with her chest. Bounces along. It's well dealt with by the South Melbourne defence. They pump it out to the right. Scott on the ball again. Ludford tries a little bit of moves. Plays a nice ball out in front of Braden Mann. He meets this one. Will he try and dink round his marker? Goes to Morton. He fires immediately. Blocked away. Comes back out. And Holmes clears. And they're out now through Minopoulos. He looks to go down the left-hand side. And Lamont, with one of the best shirt fronts you've ever seen, just cleans him up. And that is a deserved slice of cheese for Scotty Lamont.
He might be an adopted Aussie, but that is a fair hip and shoulder. All of it. He knew what was coming, didn't mind it from him. Minneapolis copped it as well. It's yellow card, move on.
Yeah, well, professional foul, and about as professional as they come, that one. Took the hit for the team. What they can't afford is a long stoppages of play here, because South Hobart need all the time they can. And South Melbourne not throwing men forward here. They're going to look to try to keep the ball. The ball comes in short. Minipoulos on the ball. Well hassled by Ludlow. Comes out to Reid. Reid one-on-one with Cass. Reid doesn't want to play this ball in there. He just hold it in the corner. Smart football from the experienced South Melbourne striker. He's been really good for them today. The goal scorer as well as he looks to go forward. Can't control it and Ludford clears away. Eager just sends the ball long and strong up to Luich. He tries to knock down. Comes along. Eager there again to go. Oof.
It's back forward. It's a little flick on head of it. It should be Pearce to collect.
They'll look long and strong now, surely.
Pearce to go long. He does go long indeed. There's plenty for South Hobart, but it's Eager under. I back him in, and he does win it. It's with Ludlow now. He's got the ball at his feet. Icky's got a good foot in though, and it's now Theodore in a great bit of space. Luch is offside. He's going to go through to Pearce anyway, and I'm not sure how that helps him at all, but he's going to have to hold it up, throw it forward. Pearce to take. Goes long now, straight down the middle. Hamlet's running onto it in a bit of space, but it's Marla who does a good job to get back and covers it for South Melbourne. It's now with Icky. You'd think a goal might come for South Melbourne as well. South Hobart throwing a lot forward. Luich versus Lamont. It's one-on-one in the back. As Luich got a chance to go around him. Lamont does well. Can he run onto it now with Theodore? Pearce comes out. It's Luich to tap home. He hits the bar and over. Could they rue that? As they've paid a corner. And I'm not sure how. They've paid the corner. It's a horrendous miss. It's a horrendous miss. I don't care what level you're playing. You knock that home. Luch has hit the bar. Pierce has run over for them to take the corner. Everything is happening here. That was a one-on-one at the back. Everyone just said, no, you two deal with it. Theodore came in late. Pierce came out. Couldn't control it. Luch has had the miss of his season. But they have got a corner, and I'm just not sure about it. As they're looking to take all the time in the world here, it's Reid, the big frame of Reid. Tries to hold it up. He does well again. It's man up against him. Man gets hold of the ball, flicks it forward.
Brennan's got to be there.
Got to go forward to Norton. Oh, it's a foul, though. And Nick Morton's giving it away. For mine, that's a foul. You can hear it from here. Nick Morton didn't even put a foot in there. All the time in the world now for South Melbourne. As the rigs are out up the top, South Melbourne pretty happy. And it's another free kick for South Melbourne.
The shirts are off for the boys in the South Melbourne cheer squad.
The rigs are out.
The rigs are out, and they're pretty happy. The scarves are being swung about. They're just moments away from progressing in this NPL final series. South Hobart with a gallant effort against what is a powerhouse in Australian football, but South Melbourne too good at the moment. As Holmes comes up to play a short one, South Melbourne will just try to keep the ball here. It goes down under a challenge from Morton, and they're not happy at all. Cash throws the ball forward. Holmes is there to head clear. As Copra looks at his watch, the whistle is about to go now, and South Melbourne will be in raptures.
South Melbourne would have booked a semi-final to take on either Bayswater City or Metro Stars, or have they, as it comes through? It's Hall and Eager. Eager does well to clear it out. And Copra blows, draws a close to the second half here in the PS4 National Premier League's Elimination Final between South Melbourne and South Hobart. South Melbourne, undoubtedly a powerhouse of Australian football, got the job done. They are deserved winners, but South Hobart far from disgraced here at Darcy Street. They were in the contest from start to finish, and they showed a bit, but just couldn't find that cutting edge to get a goal across the line and send this one to extra time. It was a pulsating clash, Corn Dog. How'd you see it?
Yeah, look, a lot of these South Melbourne boys would never have played here before, obviously. It's always tough to travel in an away game. They've done a pretty good job here. They came here, they were ready to play. They were the first out of the box, took the early lead. I think as time pressed on, South Hobart definitely pulled their way back into the game. But at the same time, South Melbourne held strong. They were pretty good at the back. There was a few clear-cut chances for South, but none that were glaring misses. A lot of flying high and wide, not a lot of testing of Hayward in goals. Maynard in goals, sorry. Look, it's a fantastic effort from South Hobart to be here, but I have to say, South Melbourne deserved winners on this one. 1-0, it's a great result probably for South Melbourne, obviously, but South Hobart as well. Haven't been embarrassed in any way, shape or form. Never want to lose, but if you go down with a fight like that, it's been a great spectacle for everyone that's came here. South Melbourne fans have come in here, great atmosphere. It's really been a pleasure to be a part of, boys.
Yeah, absolutely. The experience, perhaps a little bit of the physicality, and just the finishing class won the game, didn't it, Gilly? South Melbourne deserved winners. South Hobart can hold their head high, but in the end, it's the Victorians that go through.
Absolutely. I think physicality was a key point. Of course, Andy Brennan exposed him a couple times for pace, but South Melbourne deserved victors here at Darcy Street. Very gallant effort by South Hobart, the Victory League champions down here in Tasmania. But unfortunately, they just didn't have what it took in the end just to take it extra time. A great effort, and I've got to say, a great thanks to the travelling faithful of South Melbourne that have come down here and created a wonderful atmosphere.
Yeah, wherever you were tuned in for this one, Gilly. It was a pleasure having you on board. Last words?
Last words. Well, we look forward to Sydney FC and Melbourne Victory's visit next week on Sunday. If you are a Tasmanian and you're tuning in, get along to that one. It's a feast of football. We've got our best team playing against Victory Seconds at 12:15, and then 3 o'clock. Probably the biggest rivalry in A-League, that is Melbourne Victory and Sydney FC. So get along to that one. You can buy your tickets online at Ticketmaster. As for South Melbourne, they just push on and they wait and see who they take on in Bayswater City from WA, or whether it's Metro Stars from South Australia. And I have no doubt they have eyes on the major prize, that is the PS4 National Premier League Final Series.
Until next time, Gilly, Keep the cheese in the fridge. Keep the tomatoes in the veggie patch, and we'll see you next time, won't we?
Yes, thanks for keeping us company here at Darcy Street. I've been Damien Gill. He's Corn Dog.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in.
And that's Callan Paske.
Thank you very much. A pleasure as always, Gilly.
Bye for now.
Tasmania, get ready. A-League action is coming your way.
A-League's fiercest rivalry is hitting Hobart in a huge doubleheader.
Tasmania, best is coming for you.
Bessard Barisha and the All-Stars are bringing a feast of football that'll get your heart pumping. 12:15 p.m, see the stars of Tasmanian football unite to take on Melbourne Victory. Then at 3 p.m, see total A-League action live as Melbourne Victory clash with rival Sydney FC.
See you on September 28th.
Get your tickets now.
This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are. For everyone who has triumphs, tips and tricks to share.
And for those who love to play with complete freedom, this is for the game changers, the innovators. This is for the players. This